The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Why is that? Why? I don't know why. You look like a little giddy kid.
I don't know.
Do you need to do it again?
I mean, it is kind of fun. We can.
Okay.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
You fuck up bad. Alright, we're done. We got it.
Oh my god.
Alright, holy shit.
How was I off time? I'm a fucking musician. How was I off time for
I
that?
don't know. You're looking at my hands and
I got all stressed out, man. For some reason, that was intense.
you're not focused.
I guess. Okay.
When was the last time we recorded?
Fucking like a month ago.
No,
all 7 of
it
our
was like a
fans are
month and a
so
half ago.
mad.
Huh? All 7 of our fans are bad.
All 7 of them are so fucking mad. They were getting hot, steamy Poptards content, and then we just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Sure. Yeah. It's been like a month and a half.
So what the fuck happened since we've been gone?
Man, a lot has happened.
Has it? No.
A lot has happened.
Who should go first?
Well, we'll start with you. How's things go with you the last month? We'll say 2 months. I think it's been like 2 months.
Yeah, things have been going good. I have a band, and we've been playing places. We sound decent, but it's kind of funny. We like all 5 of the shows we've done, 5 or 6 shows, are the only times. No, other than 2 separate occasions, the only times we've played together as a group.
Yeah.
So we were playing shows, and we were practicing at the same time.
Yeah.
So
As
it's
professionals.
yeah, exactly. Like, we didn't tell the crowds that. They didn't.
No.
They didn't really. Well, the first couple we did. We totally, because we didn't get
We're
paid.
brand new. We don't know what we're doing.
Well, because we didn't get paid until like the 4th gig.
Yeah.
Like, the others, it was known. Like, we're practicing. We need a place to practice. Oh, you can come play at my brother's having a party. Y'all come play some songs there. So we went and did that.
Come practice in front of live people,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you can get immediate
Oh, and
reception.
it was great. We had there was a guy that was there, and it was his birthday also. I don't know if it was his party, but it was his birthday as well. And he said, "Hey, I've been playing a little piano. Would it be cool if I sat in with you guys?" Like, absolutely, let's do it. And so we get up there, and he played fine. Like, he was in beginner learning stages apparently. So he played decent. Excuse me. Anyway, so we get up and play, and we turn around and realize he's gone. He had set up all his shit.
He just ghosted y'all in the middle of the session?
Yeah, like in the middle of a song. He had set all his shit up.
What?
And then just disappeared in the middle of a song. Broke down his piano and everything, and I was like, what the hell? So we looked at each other and just kind of kept going. And we get like 4 or 5 songs in, and we're going to take a break. And
Was he still there?
yeah, he was still there. He was at the party. And this other lady came up, older lady, and she says, "Hey, it is so-and-so's birthday also. Would it be okay if he sat in with you guys?" And we were like, we already told him yes.
So it was the same guy.
Yeah, it was the same dude. It was like, we already told him yes. And he put his stuff, he got his stuff set up, and
He set it all back up again.
yeah, and then just disappeared. And I was like, let's go talk to this guy. So I go over and I was like, "Hey man, you put all your stuff up on stage and then you took it all down. What's going on?" He was like, "Well, I thought it was gonna rain," and I was like, "Well, dude, if it rains, we'll stop immediately."
Yeah.
And tear down your stuff, because we were under a little tarp thing,
Right.
and he was not. There was not enough room, and it didn't end up raining, by the way, because we had some that day.
But to decide that you're gonna
Immediately
just
after,
take off.
like, I don't even know how long his piano was set up, because the song we played was like 3.5 minutes.
Was it the first song?
Yeah, no, not the first song we played, but it was.
No, but the first song he was in.
Yeah.
Like, he broke down
He
in the
put
middle
it
of
all
the first
up,
song he was in.
and somebody told him it might rain, and so he took it down. And
so he just started tearing shit down with
no,
his
his piano.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he started taking his piano down.
Yeah, without saying nothing, somebody was like, hey, I think it's going to rain. He was like, well, fuck this, and tore it down. But later, like we told him, set it back up. You're totally down to play with us. And he played with us on a couple songs here and there. He did very simple stuff, but it was decent playing. It's better than what I can do, and I'm very much at the hands in the same position, going over the same keys. I know if I stay 2 notes apart, I stay on key with it and shit.
Yeah.
Very basic on piano. And he goes, hey, I've been learning these songs. Could you play one of these songs? Like, yeah, no problem. So it's just me and him. Drummer and guitar player went to take a piss. And I was like, yeah, I'll play with you. And I was playing You're Cheating Heart. And I was like, I'm going to play it slow, and you just do however speed you want. So I pick You're Cheating Heart, and I'm singing it. And I get almost done with the song, and I realize I haven't heard any piano. And so I look back at him, and he's sitting there just watching me. And
Standing in front of his piano?
No, sitting at it. He's sitting, but he's just watching me. And I was like, what are you doing, man? And so I didn't stop. I just played the song again. Same tempo. Yeah, I just started over. Because it's a loop of a chord progression, so it's just I'm going to play it over. And so I start playing it again, and I sing it again, and I put the breaks in the song, and I'm waiting, and he never touched a fucking key the entire time. The entire time. Never touched a key. Didn't understand that whatsoever. He played on other songs with us, but the one he specifically asked me to play so he could play on.
So, did you ask him about that?
No.
Well,
because I knew that
You're going to sit there and take a request for a piano man.
I played it twice.
Yeah.
And he never touched a key.
Why wouldn't you question him on that? Like, look, dude, I just played the song twice for you. Where are you at?
I like to think he just was so in love with
He
the
was
way I was.
by your
He was
talent?
awed by the way I sang Your Cheating Heart that he just was like, I'm down to just enjoy this. Yeah. He just enjoyed my singing.
Well, you wouldn't know if he had just told you simply.
Yeah, but if I'd have asked. But I was like, there's nothing he could say that would...
To justify you playing that song.
It's so it confounds me to this day. If I ever see him again, I'm definitely asking.
How long has it been?
It's been a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a couple months. But he lives somewhere around here. I mean,
do I know him?
I don't remember his name. I even I think it was Brian something. But it's even worse than that because I couldn't quite hear him. And we did this little thing where it was him and another one of our friends, Lisa, had come up and she was playing bass with us. And it was this thing where I did, we're the Hampton Connection. This is who the drummer is. This is the guitarist.
What's the name of your band?
The Hampton Connection.
Okay.
Thank you.
You can follow him on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, all sorts of places. Anyway, so I'm doing the thing, and I get to Brian. I'm almost positive his name is Brian.
We're just gonna call him Brian. It's a very generic name.
But he says, I say Lisa, and I go, and our newest member, and I lean away from the mic, and I go, hey man, what's your name? And he says it, but all I heard was, hi. And I said, what? Hi. So I leaned into the mic and went, Wyatt. And I get done, and I talk to our manager lady.
Wait, so how did you introduce yourselves again?
Okay, so I said, standing to my left is Joe Nation, our guitarist, which, can I just say for a second, is that not a rock star's name?
Is that his real name?
That is his real name.
Okay, I've always questioned that.
Yeah, Joe Nation. It's his God-given name. Wonderful human being.
Christian name.
Government Christian name. I mean, he could be in Whitbro for all I know, and this is just bullshit.
Just outed him.
Yeah.
Well, he outed himself by getting into a band.
That is true. We're going to try to be super public about it.
Yeah.
and Lisa Harvey was a friend of ours. She was playing bass. And I said, and our newest member, what was your name, bro? And I swear, I'm told he said Brian, or whatever. I'm 99.9% sure his name is Brian.
It sounded like a Brian.
It sounded like Brian, but I heard Wyatt. That was the closest thing I heard. And so I just
leads and goes, ah!
Yeah. Well, and we're playing Tennessee Whiskey at the same time.
Right.
So it's like a lead-in thing to get to it. And I just rolled with it like his name was Wyatt and went on to Orlando, the drummer. Orlando Jackson, by the way. And, like, when we got done with the thing, our manager was like, his name's not Wyatt, or whatever you said. And I was like, well, Wyatt played with us tonight.
Wyatt played with us tonight. While he was up on that stage, his stage name was Wyatt.
Oh, my goodness.
Holy hell.
Yeah, we've played a few times. We're getting real good. We're looking for a bassist right now, but we've got a couple people lined up to audition. It's really cool. Like, I've never had a band before. I've never thought about having a band before.
Yeah.
Like, I always wanted...
talked about it.
Yeah, I always kind of thought it would be fun. At least a drummer, you know? But now that I've got, a drummer and a guitarist, I was like, man, we need a bassist and get this rounded out. Get that fourth guy and really kick some ass. It'll be great. So Hampton Connection.
I was gonna say I watched it last week and it was pretty good. It's like the little goof you had.
Yeah, we had one little goof, and that was such a stupid technical thing. If we were rounded out better, that wouldn't happen to where we didn't need that. Because right now we're still working on cheat sheets.
Yeah, and that's all I was telling y'all. When we were asking for constructive criticism was, just keep practicing. Well,
and when we ask for it, we want if sucks,
if they legitimately think you suck.
Yeah, if you think the show sucked, fucking tell me.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we're gonna think we sound good.
But also let them know why you think they suck.
Yeah, don't just be like, I think
suck.
you sound like dog shit. Be like, no.
Where's my tomatoes?
No, I think your runs could be better on this, or you're not quite pushing hard enough on this, or whatever. Like, I know for a fact my lead needs a lot of work because I've never really fucked with lead at all. Yeah. Oh man, but
that was my only real constructive criticism. Was like, you sound good. Just need more practice.
I wish that this podcast or something we were doing was big enough to permit a vlog, because that would have been so much fun. Not even putting clips of the performance on it, but so we played at this thing called the Hunters Roundup, which here in our town is kind of like a gathering of hunters, as it sounds, where they auction off.
I was gonna say, I imagine most like southern towns and stuff.
It's like they auction off
most
guns and
areas in the places.
They have shooting competitions of like bows and guns and rifles.
It's a gathering of charity and focused on hunting and
community, because they come to. They have shops of local distributors
local
and stuff. And
because we bought ponchos.
Yes, we bought serapes.
Yeah, we bought serapes. I've been hunting for one for like the last 3 years, ever since it was shortly before me and
man, we'll get to that. We'll get to that next.
I went to the San Antonio Stock Show Rodeo a couple years ago for the first time, I believe, and I was joking with the person I was with. They're like, I really wish I had a poncho of serape. I'm gonna see if they got one here. There's no way they don't got one here. Didn't have one, surprisingly, but yeah. So for like the last 4 years, been trying to find one. We found one right in our little town.
Right in our backyard. I mean,
great quality.
Yeah, dude.
They're soft.
I wish we had gotten.
I passed out in mine last night.
Did you? I've been jamming, playing games and stuff in mine because I play outside. Yeah. So it's like
I'm going out to my friends later and they're doing a little fire. I'm absolutely taking.
Oh man, see if I can go. That sounds fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love a good bonfire. Love me a good bonfire. I tell you what, love me a bonfire.
Bring your moo-moos.
But so, yeah, we should definitely maybe put our picture on this for the YouTube part.
I'll
just throw it in there because we look totally awesome in our serapes.
Yeah. We might have to take it.
So, I think we should get real quick into what's been going on in your life, sir, the past few months. Like, I think it's fair to say this is one of the reasons we've been gone, because there's been some stuff in your life going on that we didn't.
It's the main reason, I'd say.
Yeah, like just a touch. The main reason.
It's been roughly 2 months since we last recorded.
Yeah, like I went off and started a band. You've had some shit going on.
Well, yeah. Okay, so moved to San Antonio. So I'm single now. I had a breakup.
Ladies.
Shut the fuck up, no. So, yeah, so I'm trying to remember the exact timeline between where we last recorded, or where we last uploaded.
I think the last thing we did, was Suicide Squad, wasn't it?
Maybe? Was that it?
I think it was.
It feels like it. Man.
Maybe we did one after Suicide.
I think we may have done one more. You can check.
I'm going to check real quick while you talk.
So, I was going to say, I had a death in the family. My grandmother passed away.
Condolences.
Complicated relationship. Not going to get into it. So, around that time, while I was gone, I won't get into the nitty-gritty out of...
Yeah, well,
if I wanted to be an asshole, I would get into the detail and give, the most fair and balanced...
Maybe on someone else's podcast when we're more famous and being invited on other people's podcasts.
I'll do it on ours eventually, but I'm going to give the respect of time.
Yeah, because it's been...
Between the time we're releasing this until the next time we talk about it.
Yeah, because it's been a minute.
But it was very abrupt for me, and it was, as bad of a timing as you could do a breakup with anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it happened while I was burying my grandma and taking my mom to the ER, who is fine now. She's recovered greatly. She's walking around, won't shut the hell up.
Which we should warn the audience now, it's possible there will be a cameo.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because she is in the house.
But,
I love that term.
Hey, we're recording. This is an impromptu recording.
Okay, it's been a month. The last episode of Poptards was on... Oh, excuse me.
Okay, yeah, so it's been about a month then.
It was September 6th.
Okay, damn.
Yep. We discussed Marvel's Avengers, James Bond.
September 6th?
Yeah.
So it's been 2 months.
So why does this say 1 month?
It's November 5th.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So it's been 2 months.
Okay, yeah. So right in between then and now, had the breakup, death in family, got kicked out of where I was living with a friend now. I mean, I'm doing all right. Still got my job.
But I got the van.
I got the van. I got the air fryer. I didn't get the air fryer.
You didn't get the air fryer. Which is bullshit.
Well, no, that was a gift. So.
Yeah, but the air fryers are awesome.
They are. I recommend everyone.
As your friend, I wish you had gotten that.
Time constraint and working their asses off. Get yourself an air fryer. You can cook anything in those things.
Absolutely.
Better than you could 10 years ago, at least. Because I just found out my mom's got an air fryer. Like a legitimate air fryer, but it's like one of the early ones that came out. It's got like a... It's like a glass bowl, essentially, and you set the thing on top of it. It's got a rack.
So it's like one of the OG air fryers.
It's an OG air fryer.
Nice.
I don't know if it was called an air fryer or I was trying to figure out its identity, very obviously by its design.
My mom actually got one recently. Air fryers are nice, man. She got it for her birthday. And hers has got all these different settings on it. And
yeah.
Like, I want to use it and make a steak and shit. Because, like...
You can do that. I don't know how well, but you can do that.
I've watched... when she got it, I looked at YouTube videos. I was like, I'm going to educate myself real quick about how to use your new toy.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that's been the delay as to why we haven't uploaded in a while. So I'm still in the process of getting things moved around. We're aiming at trying to get a consistent schedule going, but we'll see what happens. Especially after I get moved in somewhere, which hopefully will be in the next couple months.
Yeah.
Then hopefully we can just pick things back up and get on a consistent schedule. But yeah, so figured we've been trying to plan this
A couple weeks now.
almost the last month, almost the last 4 weeks.
Well, I mean, I would say the first 2 weeks was more like, we need to record a podcast. Yeah, we will. And it hadn't, I mean, we haven't needed to be more frequent. So it's like,
say, we don't need
yeah,
to
we don't need
record
to be
a podcast,
so frequent, but it's like,
hey, I know you're kind of busy
just to keep
right now.
Yeah,
but
just to keep it in the realm of where we're at in our minds of like, we got to remember we do want to do a podcast at some point.
Do we still want to keep up with this? Yeah, we still want to keep up with this.
I mean, we could totally make all the videos private, including this one, and just make the podcast disappear.
Yeah, nah.
All 7 of our fans would be so disappointed.
Yeah, anybody who remembered it, no.
I mean, we don't know that James Gunn isn't super disappointed that he hadn't gotten any new Poptards.
That is very true.
Material.
That is very true. I mean, my Twitter's dry, so I haven't heard it.
Same.
Twitter and Instagram. So.
I don't even use Twitter. I have one.
I check on it once in a blue moon.
I think one of my username, if it isn't still, my username on Twitter used to be @ElbertIsGreat.
Of course it was.
Because I couldn't do, like, just my name. Apparently there's another Elbert shipment out there stealing my shit.
I imagine there's
probably a couple.
Shipments around the world.
Yeah, jerks.
In places you wouldn't think there would be.
I'm still upset that I couldn't get Spidey ate us, my gamer tag, on PlayStation. And that, dude,
that is still very odd.
Because, just to recap that, so it's my username on everything. If you're online and see Spidey ate us somewhere, it's probably me. Because I use it everywhere. No, everywhere.
Oh, okay.
It's my username on multiple websites like Ultimate Guitar and OnlyFans. But so sorry, I'm just getting my Paige Van Zandt on. But when I got to PlayStation, I tried to get it and it said it was taken. So it's like, well, shit, I'll just make up a new username. So I made up a new one, and then at some point, like maybe a year into me having the PlayStation, I got an email from PlayStation saying, or not an email, a notification saying that you get a free name change.
Yeah.
And so I waited like a week or so, and I tried to change my gamer tag to Spidey. And it didn't work. It said it's taken. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to long shot this. And I'm going to search up Spidey ate us on PlayStation. And I'm going to ask them if they would mind changing their gamer tag so I could have my username. Cause
it's not a very unique one.
So. No, exactly. It's like, I want my name. Because it's my name everywhere else.
I had a very similar situation, but I'll let you finish.
So I do a search for it, and guess what I find? You know what I find. So that's a stupid question. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
So
nobody has it. Sony is just dicks, and it's like,
Sony
you're not Spider-Man. You can't have Spidey ate us. You don't know him like we know him.
We have a game about him. What do you have?
Yeah. Like, oh my god, I bought this fucking console just because of your fucking Spider-Man game, which is wonderful, by the way. We need to talk about that at some point.
I'm sure, I guess. We'll throw it in somewhere along this.
Well, I mean, like, real quick, because since you've been gone, Sony had their little State of Play thing. And showed off several things, which includes Insomniac's.
I was going to say, I barely remember.
Have you seen the trailers?
I barely
Dude, bring them up. We'll watch them real quick.
I mean,
fuck this lo-fi.
Spider-Man 2?
There's Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. And that's the only 2 I give a shit about right now.
That's the only thing I remember.
That's the only thing you need to remember. Well, they showed a little bit of God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Which that looks awesome, but I expected it to look awesome.
Yeah.
Especially if what they showed us is running on PS5.
Yeah.
Which I imagine it is.
PS4 Pro.
I'm sure it will. But oh my god, like that's why I bought a PlayStation, was for the exclusives.
Specifically the PS4 Pro.
Is that what you bought?
Yeah, because I got the God of War edition.
Oh, nice.
I got it because of God of War was coming out.
Nice.
And then when they were like,
wise choice.
There's a limited edition God of War PS4 Pro, it was like, well, if there's any time to get it, now's the time, I guess. So
Right.
I was still working.
How about that Master Chief Xbox?
The Series X?
Yeah.
You got it?
No, I said, how about that?
Oh, I didn't.
Of course I didn't get it. Do
No,
I look
well,
like
you
a
said-
scalper to you?
I don't know.
I mean, that's true. What does a scalper look like?
Yeah, what about it? I didn't get it.
A scalper definitely looks more thugged out than me with
Do
like
they, though?
because
I know
well,
someone
I'd
who
definitely
knows
be blanging with some swag that I stole if I was a scalper.
I know someone who knows someone that's a half-ass scalper.
Oh, well, tell them to get you a thing.
No, because I don't talk to them anymore.
Because, man, fuck. Scalpers should go.
You're a piece of fucking shit.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say it.
I was trying to think of how to word
worst. Like, just in general, like, this could happen to anything, really, but in terms of, like, gaming consoles...
that. Past couple of years.
Yeah, but this has been the worst. But it could be because of circumstances.
Well, yeah, it's like, with the scalping issue with the original Series X and the PlayStation 5...
Well, I mean, just the Xbox One X, I don't think it was this bad.
Wasn't no?
I don't think so.
See, I didn't remember the scalping.
I think it happened for like maybe a month or two, and then after that it was...
See, I don't remember the scalping being that bad on that to where it was like as soon as it went on sale, they were sold out because of scalpers.
The only reason I didn't get the One X was because I knew the Series X was going to be announced and launched soon. So I was like, well, you know, I'm still on the original Xbox One, so I was like, yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay out an extra $400 just for like slightly better performance.
Yeah, well, dude, I'm still rocking on an OG Xbox One.
Yeah, so.
And it still works fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a freight train.
It's starting
jet engine.
It's starting to sound like a jet fighter taking off.
Oh yeah, it's starting to sound
Every
bad.
time you start a new game, it's like we're going
like takeoff, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the only thing I've had to replace on it is the power brick. And that's it.
That's not bad.
Yeah. It hasn't Red Ring or Death.
Dude, I've still got the original power brick for mine.
Yeah.
Like, it's still rocking and rolling. I haven't replaced shit.
I blow air into it once in a blue moon. That's it.
Probably helps that I run most of my games off of an external hard drive, though. That's not running the internal hard drive
That's
as
what
hard.
I do too. But I mean, to boot up the game and performance and everything, it's gotta do its own thing. But
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, the scalping. My God.
It's been terrible, man. Like,
Not just I was gonna say not just for consoles, but for PC parts. For
that's
graphic
true.
cards and
That's
stuff.
true.
Like, it's been awful, but that was its own separate issue a while back because of Bitcoin mining and stuff. Because like when that started taking off, yeah, that's what you think it is.
I want to see that later.
Yeah,
and I want you to
get
talk
into-
about that.
I was gonna say we'll dive into a little bit of everything because we're gonna throw everything in because we haven't
A little catch up video
Yeah.
or podcast.
Yeah, he was eyeballing a couple of DC figures I picked up because I think I talked to you about this, rationalizing people collecting figures. I was talking to somebody about it. And it was like, looking back on it, it's like, I've kept some of the figures and toys and stuff that I bought when I was a kid, and they're still in pretty good condition, and, like, now there's more people doing it, especially now that comic book movies are more mainstream, and now... Yeah. So it's like, you want to collect them, and, they do have value. So something happens, you can sell them or whatever.
Well, I mean, and people collect all sorts of shit.
They collect the dumbest shit ever.
Well, I mean, even if you look at common things, like you had said, porcelain dolls and
Porcelain shit right up there.
yeah, there's porcelain dolls right here. Like my mom.
We're recording in my mom's house, grandma's house, and it's just like you grow up and you see the shit that your grandparents or older relatives collect, porcelain things and whatnot, and you look at them like, what the hell is this? Why do you have this?
Well, it's art.
It's art, yeah.
So if it's handcrafted and shit, it's art.
Sure. But then
it's
again,
creepy art, but it's art.
When it's stuff like that, just normal stuff, you don't really have to justify it because you kind of get it. It's like, okay, it's stuff you like. It's a thing you have a niche for.
Well, I mean, look at people like my parents have individual collections that have clashed into our into our living room. You've been in our house.
Yeah.
Where my mom has a collection of Coca-Cola, watermelons, and my dad has Old West shit, like mostly John Wayne.
Stuff, yeah.
John Wayne, Johnny Cash, and then they both collect crosses. I think it's mostly my mom, but we're Baptists, and she collect crosses. So when you walk in the house, if you got the devil in you,
I was gonna say,
it's gonna
you don't
burn.
have to be Baptist to collect crosses.
No, but it just has a backstory.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Just
for clarification.
To why there's crosses.
And there's a lot of them. Like if you walk into if a vampire walked into that house, it would be burning.
Well, the funny part about that too is I remember when my cousin Jana started her collection on her wall.
She's got a hell of a collection of crosses.
She's got a wall of crosses. And then I think we found out, somebody told her, it's like, hey, there's some rumor, I don't know if it was a rumor or if it was like an off thing, I had never heard of it before, that mafia bosses would hang up crosses for like certain kills that they got.
Or for like special kills or every kill?
I think it was special kills. I'm not sure.
Well, dude,
it's something we'd have to look up, maybe.
If that's the case, my parents and Jana are some stone cold killers. Because there's a lot of crosses there. Dude, it could be a Mr. and Mrs. Smith type thing. They put up a damn good front.
No,
like, I don't.
The only thing they're killing is bottles of wine and Bud Light.
That's true.
You're gonna hang up crosses for every 5 bottles.
Well, maybe if you pull on one of the crosses, it opens up a secret hatch where there's guns and shit.
That would be
nice. Jana's gonna go and murder some people and come back with a cross.
I don't say that to paint them as alcoholics either.
It did sound a little bit, just a touch.
No, I just thought that was interesting though.
Yeah, it's like
if
people
true,
have their
big if true.
Well, and having toys of whatever kind as a collection.
Yeah.
Is especially when it's something pop culture related. It's figurines or statues of things that we've seen in 2D made into 3D. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like, especially because I've had this conversation a few times. Toys nowadays, kick old toys is ass.
Oh my god.
Like,
the Nerf guns alone.
Yes. Like, let's stick with action figures for a second. Action figures, with their articulation and design and detail on action figures nowadays, they're cool as shit.
They only started getting better articulation when we were kids.
Yeah, and now they're badass.
Yeah.
Like, if it was not socially unacceptable for a grown-up to play with action figures, I probably would. But there's that little lingering fear in the back of my mind that someone's going to open up my door and catch me playing with action figures.
You'd rather watching porn.
I would rather be caught watching porn, because at least that makes sense in their mind. He's an adult. He has urges. But I have urges. I have urges to play with action figures as well. But I don't play with action figures because that's dirty. That's creepy. If an adult man plays with action figures, it's not cool. So you resist those nasty, ugly urges.
It's not something I do either. Again, just collecting them because they're cool to look at. It's why people. Did you mess up your recording?
No.
Okay. No, I was gonna say it's like people collecting statues and figurines of art.
Yeah.
It's just something that's cool to look at.
But I want you to explain why the thought process you told me about these, because I want to say again.
Well, I look at it or I guess I justify it as I would somebody else collecting their niche little things that they like people who collect porcelain figures and certain animal types.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's something like that. So, I grew up with pop culture, comic books, stuff like that. And so it's, it's just, what I like. And so when you've got new variations of things, because I'm not going to go out and collect every single version of, one specific hero or a specific genre of them, It's just like whatever catches my eye and I really like it, it's like, oh, I got to have that.
Yeah.
Kind of like of what I bought here.
Which, they're very nice.
I'm not gonna fight against the judgment that it's a stupid investment. I do not care. I think it looks cool. It's inexpensive to me, and it doesn't take up room.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's characters that you like.
It's characters,
And it completes your collection.
So specifically, what it is, for those that slightly give a crap about it, you can go look it up. There was a DC Comics run, a very short run, called DC Metal, and then it spun off into Dark Knights, I believe.
Death Metal, I think.
Death Metal, yeah, DC Death Metal. I think it started with like DC Dark Knights or something. I don't know.
I think Dark Knights was a one shot.
Okay.
It was a series of one shots, I think, where it showed the origin of all of the other Batmen.
Okay.
Which the Grim Knight was my favorite.
Yeah.
The Punisher-esque Batman.
Yeah. Okay, so it started with like
that one.
DC Metal and then DC Death Metal, and in this universe, it's like post-apocalyptic. Everything's got like a very, like in terms of like hard rock music type stuff, it's very metal.
It's very heavy metal.
It's
like remember the old cartoon Heavy Metal?
For a general audience, I would say it's like a heavier Mad Max type theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all these characters and everything, they're very grungy, very metal-looking people. And so I was like, oh man, that would be awesome. And they were making statues and stuff of them, but I didn't have anywhere to put them, and they're out of my budget.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, it'd be really cool to get one of those. Eventually, I'll do it. And so recently, DC's put out in their multiverse action figure line these characters. And so last week, and sometimes like if I'm at Walmart, wherever, GameStop, wherever nerd shop sells figures, I'll just window browse, just because it looks cool. And so I saw the Superman one, and the Superman he looks like what's his nuts from Death Clock.
Oh God, I don't even watch Death Clock.
I should know his name, and I don't remember. I'll probably throw his picture up and name or whatever. But he had like the long black hair. He had the Superman T-shirt that was like all ripped and everything. I mean, if you look at him, you don't know the backstory.
Yeah.
He's got a rocky arm with like brass knuckles with the Superman logo impressed into it. Black jeans.
He looks badass.
Heavy, clunky red boots.
All of the designs look like they would fit in like an 80s hair metal.
It's very
music video.
What was that? What was that movie and magazine? I think it was called Heavy Metal. Yeah.
Well, Heavy Metal was an old cartoon that was like adult oriented, where it had boobs and shit in it. Yeah. So it was like it looked like it would fit into that. Yeah. And so, like the Batman one, again, grunge. He's got this thick black trench coat with like spikes all over it. Looks dope as shit.
Yeah. Wonder Woman looks badass. Hot and badass.
Looks like a fucking armored up warrior.
Armor makes sense. She's still got the classic Wonder Woman look. I mean, you can pull it out, look at it.
Yeah, actually, yes, I'm going to do that. I want to look at these.
But yeah, it looks great.
Batman's guitar axe is pretty dope.
Yeah, and the funny part too is like when you go and look up DC Metal Superman, DC Metal,
and they make like a Frankenstein Batman.
It's Apocalypse. No, not Apocalypse. Darkseid.
Darkseid in a Batman suit.
It's Darkseid Batman. Yeah.
And you're just missing, what, Robin King?
Yeah, I'm just missing King Robin. Robin King, whatever his name is.
Dude, you need to get Robin King so you can build up your dude.
Yeah, so last week I got the Superman. And I was like, oh, this would be cool. There's no way they would ever have the Batman or Wonder Woman here, but if I ever come across them, it'd be really cool to get them. And then on my way back through this week, I go and take a look, and I see those two, and it's the only ones of those kind there. They've got, like, the other versions. They've got the copies of, like, different versions of that. They only had the one Wonder Woman and one Batman of that type.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, fuck. I've got to get it. So I got it. And then I saw the Robin King. And I think there was only one. There may have been two at the most, if there was. But then I was like, these figures are like already $15 a piece. You know, it's $30. I just got paid.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. I'm gonna treat myself. So so I bought those, and so I've got the Death Metal Trinity now. DC Death Metal Trinity.
Yeah, you do. Now I do want to point out that which you could just buy them online.
I could.
But is it more of the impulse buy thing of like, I see them, there they are, I'm going to get them?
It's an in-person impulse buy, because of course I can go look at them online, and I don't get that. I don't have that impulse buy.
Gotcha.
Because, especially, right now, since I don't have a permanent place of residence...
Where's it going to be shipped?
Yeah. And,
now,
because I'm semi-homeless right now.
Now, the thought I had when we talked about this after you bought them was, it makes sense for the impatience of, like, I gotta bring it home with me today.
Yeah, there's very few
it makes
things
sense
that
if...
I will online impulse buy.
But it would make sense for that impatience of, like, I need this from, like, for Robin King, for instance.
Yeah.
It would make sense have the impatience of all the collection if you were still a kid that gets to play with these toys. Because then you got to get that shit home so you can break it open and play with it. You might even play with it on the ride home.
Big old one for free.
Yeah, you might even play with it on the car ride home. Yeah. But as an adult who's just going to display these, or perhaps since you don't have a place to display and put them in the closet for now,
put them in storage.
Why the rush to get them home so soon?
When am I ever going to see them again? It's like a dog chasing a car. You never know when you're going to see another car again. You got to have that one car. It's like a kid losing a balloon. You can get another balloon, but I want that balloon.
Yeah. I like that analogy.
So yeah, it's like when you see it in person, you're like, do I want to take the chance, knowing I'm going to come back to this specific spot again?
Yeah.
Of thinking this is going to be here again. No, I don't want to take that chance on this.
Man, DC needs to do at least like an animated thing of the death metal saga, because that's such a cool storyline.
I think they will. It's like,
especially the Batman Who Laughs. Like, how do you hear it in your head? Like, the best way you can describe it. His voice.
Oh, I think...
How do you read his voice?
I
the
read
Batman
it as
Who
like
Laughs.
Joker.
Same.
Like a grungier Joker.
Like a more deep... Like, I've been reading it like... Did you ever watch...
Bruce Wayne was the Joker.
Did you ever watch The Batman? The little retake where the Joker was wearing... like a straitjacket and had dreads and shit.
Oh yeah,
that's how I hear the Batman. The Batman Who Laughs' voice with like Kevin Michael Richardson's Joker.
Yeah,
that's how I hear it.
Yeah, something like that.
And I'd be curious to see how DC would cast it.
Yeah, I remember they did an odd thing. I mean, it was cool, but it was an odd thing that they did. They did a tandem album release where it was like 4 or 5 songs.
DC?
Yeah, they released like a short album of songs that were inspired from DC metal.
Huh.
And one of them was a Marilyn Manson song.
Nice.
And the other one, I forget his name. It wasn't the full crew of Mastodon, but it was one of the lead singers that did a song called Red Death, and that was the first one they put out, and it was really awesome. And so, like, the songs, like, they set the vibe for, like, the series of DC metal and death metal.
That's a good idea. That's a really cool concept.
It was, and it wasn't a lot. They only did, like, 4 or 5 songs. And you can go find
probably one for each Batman. Dark Batman.
I guess. I don't know.
That's what I would guess.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Especially if one of the songs is named Red Death, which is one of the Batman.
Yeah. And so I don't remember the other ones, but they were pretty good. But yeah, I remember when they released the trailer for it, and Manson was singing. And they had the Batman Who Laughs, like, overlooking everything, playing his guitar and everything. I kind of envisioned if he was gonna talk, he would sound like Manson almost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a maniacal Marilyn Manson.
That's not a bad...
Yeah.
I get.
Especially
cool.
when you look at, like, old Marilyn Manson from, like, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
It's kind of the vibe he gives off, you know.
That would be a cool idea.
It would be, yeah. I think he could do it. Absolutely, I think he should do it. But, yeah, I think they should do an animated feature. I would hate to see them try to compartmentalize it.
Well, like, I would suggest doing a trio of movies. Because they've done part 1s and 2s before on animated stuff.
Yeah.
And
it would be cool to see them do, like, DC Metal Part 1 through 3.
Yeah.
and then DC Death Metal Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because I think Death Metal wasn't as long.
And just release them on HBO Max and like DVD and shit.
Yeah.
Or not DVD, but Blu-ray. Do they even make DVDs anymore?
Yeah, they still do.
Do
straight
they?
to DVD stuff. Straight to Blu-ray.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they still do DVDs, but yeah.
DVDs are becoming like cassettes, where it's like we'll make cassettes, but nobody's using cassette.
8 tracks.
No, 8-track went the way of the dinosaurs when cassette came along.
It came and went so fast. I wasn't around. We weren't around for them, but
yeah. But
from the tellings of the folks, they came and went fast.
Speaking of their animation, we watched The Long Halloween. What'd you think of that?
Oh, Long Halloween Part 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Those were good. They've been having I was going to say, going back to when we were first discussing the DC Metal thing and how we both really liked it, or enjoyed it, the state of comic books right now for mainstream, for Marvel and DC, is abysmal.
Yeah.
I'm more critical of it.
Well, and I don't know as much about the backside of the comic book industry, because I just read them on my phone.
Yeah. Well, just in general, like the state, like the storytelling and everything right now is just, it's not fun.
I also haven't really gotten as many more modern comics.
Yeah.
Like I've read a lot of old shit.
There's more comic book shops now that are making more money off back issues.
Yeah.
And stuff, and so.
Like I like going through Comixology and finding collected editions of big chunks of series and just going through them.
Yeah, because there's one guy that I listen to, Gary from Nerdrotic. He used to own a comic book shop in L.A., and a lot of his stuff was back issues and stuff. I mean, he sold new stuff, but he's getting ready to move to Texas. He's going to be setting up shop in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And so
that's cool.
Yeah, his goal right now is, when he sets up shop, everything's just going to be back issues. He doesn't want to do anything new. He'll be selling, collectible stuff and whatnot, but he doesn't want anything to do with, the newer stuff because it all sucks.
Well, what line do you draw between back issues and newer stuff? Like, is it from when he opens, or is that...
I was going to say, I think there's, a point, I'm going to say, 2015 and back was when things... 2012 was when things really started shifting, but, 2014, 2015 is whenever the entertainment industry really started shifting, and the quality of things just sucked. It got politicized, and it sucked.
Oh.
And so, I think... he hasn't said it specifically, but if I were him, I would assume maybe from that point, 2014, 2015 back, would be the back issues, and then if there's anything that comes out that seems like it's good, he might wait till the full thing comes out and he'll sell everything in one go. Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. He could change course, change things up as he goes along, and talk
see
to the
what makes
community,
business sense.
Yeah, just talk to people, see what their thing is. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's Gary from Nerdrotic. If anybody's interested, he's on YouTube's semi-big channel.
I've heard of Nerdrotic, at least.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you all the hosts.
They do similar stuff like what we're doing, or he does it, because he's just a one-man crew, but they do, every Friday, him and a bunch of other people do live streams and stuff, and just talk pop culture, whatever's going on, and whatever's the happening.
Speaking of that, we've talked about this before, but I've thought about doing game streams us together.
Yeah.
Like some kind of co-op game or something.
Yeah. We'll definitely do that after I get set up and...
Like a Twitch stream.
Get things lined up to where we have a more consistent schedule.
Yeah. But speaking of the DC stuff, did you see any of the trailers from... Did we talk about... No, because it's been a minute.
We didn't talk about the DC trailers.
The Batman and Shazam, or not Shazam, yeah. Shazam and Black Adam and stuff. That's been since in our little hiatus, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was only like
It was only like
2
a
weeks
couple
ago
weeks
at the
ago.
most. I think.
Yeah, that was dude.
Yeah, the Batman with
The
Robert
Batman.
Pattinson.
Patman.
Yeah.
Pat.
Pattinson.
Pattinson.
I'm cautiously optimistic for it.
It looks phenomenal. At least visually. It looks visually striking.
It looks like, what a Batman movie should look like.
Yeah, it's very gritty. It's also very orange. That's the main color in the trailer.
I haven't seen it. I only saw it once, so I don't remember too much of it. I just remember rain.
Well, again, we have a screen right here.
Pattinson and fighting and him yelling at a prison.
And he gets lit up with assault rifle ammo, which I'm not huge on. But, granted, the context we're missing for that trailer. I don't want to be overly critical yet. It's Batman, but
they've also apparently changed the...
Should we mute it, or no?
No. Because it's not like we're bringing it up or anything.
That's true. You're typing my name. That was nice. The Elbert.
No. Let's see.
There it is.
2 weeks ago. Yeah. So, I just... It feels like, if you had taken the Nolan-verse Batman and just added more of, the comic booky stuff to it.
Yeah.
Because he made it very clear he wanted his Batman grounded. And this one seems like it's still in the realm of possibilities, but it's more of this is Batman.
Yeah.
And it's Robert Pattinson. He's not at all intimidating. I'm not going to say even a little bit. He's not at all intimidating.
Well, but what I'm saying about context for at least that one scene is it could be set up in the movie that his armor, his chest plate, is just fucking solid metal, plated. Because
I was gonna say,
he got shot in the bat symbol.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
He's shot in this the shoulder and in the side of the chest too.
Yeah, but here in a minute, whenever it goes to the hallway scene, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. The rule of cool can apply, and Batman just be bulletproof. I can kind of let it go, but it's not like they're all shooting at the bat symbol.
No.
He's got 2 automatic rifles firing off all over his chest, and he's just tanking his way through.
I was gonna say I won't say leaned up on.
Look at the Penguin, by the way. Colin Farrell's fat suit he's wearing is awesome.
There was somebody who was talking about it. It may have been
his prosthetics look really good.
It may have been Nerdroid talking about it. But apparently there's some older actor.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're not even aiming for his head.
No, the open mouth.
That's what I was going to get to, was my temperament for suspension of disbelief.
No one shoots Batman's face.
Why?
You can see his teeth.
Listen.
Why would you not?
Listen, I understand it's the dark.
Yeah, it's dark there.
It's dark, and you start shooting out of fear. You got a light. Now you're like, oh, there's this chest. Let me aim up a little bit. He's only walking at me. What's the worst he can... Oh, my arms are broken now.
Right. Granted, they could have also just seen him, pulverize 20 of their friends. And then they're just... Of course, if that's the case... You still didn't shoot him in the fucking head while he was pummeling your friends.
Let's look at it again. It's a short amount of time between when they start shooting at his chest and where they could aim up and be like, oh, you just end him right in his little suck hole.
I do love that it looks like we're getting a lot of Batman.
I hope so.
I
hope we're just... See, he's just walking at him!
He's just walking. Oh, my God. I do like the badass sports car or muscle car Batmobile. I think that is totally within the idea of it being year 2.
I was gonna say
it's totally cool. I mean, that was just his back, but he looks pretty muscular there.
Well, I mean, that could have been a stunt double too.
It could be a body double.
Yeah.
Do you think Zoe Kravitz playing Catwoman, do you think she's getting an actual mask in this movie?
I think so.
Because all we've seen is maskless and that fucking balaclava she wears.
I think that might be it. I think the balaclava with goggles over it might be it.
Dude, dirty Batman looks so cool. Like, it'll never not look cool to see Batman just filthy.
Yeah, there's
something cool about him covered in mud.
Damn, I wish it would back up so much.
Well, it backs up in 10-second intervals.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say, if we look at his back again, like, I'm more on the side that's a body double.
No, that's just you wanting to be pessimistic.
No, because...
That's him.
Is it, though? Are you sure?
It's a damn good body double if it is. That looks just as scrawny as Pattinson does.
I mean, we
just with some muscle mass.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we haven't seen him.
We haven't seen him shirtless.
IRL. So, and, you know, he's a bit of a jokester. So, you know, that whole thing where he's like, "No, I'm not gonna."
I'm not working out at all for Batman. He just showed up in the trailer, but fucking Andy Serkis's Alfred looks exactly how I wanted him to.
I'm looking forward to it.
He looks exactly how I wanted him to. So nice.
Okay, and that scene too. I love that scene there where he's like, where the Batmobile. You know the Batmobile's coming out of that fire.
Oh yeah.
I just wish it was one long shot here. It didn't cut or anything. You just see the Batmobile jump out there
instead of seeing it through the window.
Yeah, instead of like all these cuts, it goes slow mo.
Well, it cuts only at the mirror.
Yeah, but still,
I see what you're saying. Like a one take.
Yeah, it's just a one take because that would have been like, that's Batman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm digging the soundtrack, by the way. It gives me Elfman vibes.
Somebody said that it sounds like a rendition of the I almost want to say the Death March. The Star Wars
The Imperial March?
The Imperial March, yeah. Somebody said it sounded like a rendition of the Imperial March.
I can hear that.
I went and watched the trailer again after they said that. I was like, yeah, I kind of see it. But when I first saw the trailer, it reminded me of the Elfman.
Yeah, I get major Elfman vibes.
Yeah, it reminded me of the '92 animated Batman theme.
I'm digging it, man. Like when I didn't even see when it said it was supposed to come out. It's like May or March, right?
2022, yeah.
2022. It's one of the M months.
Mid 2022.
Black Adam. Did you see the trailer for Black Adam?
Was there an actual trailer?
Well, it's more
just a teaser.
It was more of a teaser.
Okay. I hadn't seen it yet.
Well, I'll put it on real quick. It from what little they've shown.
If you press start.
I did it, and it didn't go. What little they've shown, it looks interesting. Like, I mean,
yeah.
It's future presidential candidate Rock the Dwayne Johnson. So
he's a retard. I forget Pierce Brosnan. I forgot James Bond is in this.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan's in this.
Dr. Fate.
As Dr. Like, it.
How much of Dr. Fate are we actually gonna get?
Probably not a lot. Like, well, he's
get like 30 seconds.
Well, he's second billing, so I think it. Like,
I'm sure.
We're also getting all these disposable ass superheroes, like Atom Smasher, and nothing against Atom Smasher fans.
Yeah,
Hawkman is in it, which I like that actor.
Yeah, he's a pretty good actor.
He's been in a couple cool things, but they show all this concept art, and Rock looks cool. I do wish they would have given him some hair.
You know what? I thought that too, but I'm okay without it.
Yeah, I'm okay without it because he still looks badass.
Yeah, they look like they're still trying to go for.
Hey, look, we had the Rock.
Black Adam look. You know, like they did with Shazam.
Which the trailer for that looks, or not trailer, but it's similar to this, where it's like behind the scenes footage. Which I gotta say, I've been calling Zachary Levi. I've been calling him the wrong name for so long because it's one of those things of like I've read this word Levy.
Levy?
Yeah. It's one of those things of like, I've seen this word written, but I've never heard it said out loud.
I've heard people pronounce
But
it.
I wear Levi jeans. Like, how stupid am I? Like, when he said it on that little teaser where he's like, "Hi, I'm Zachary I almost said it there.
Yeah.
"Hi, I'm Zachary Levi, and I play Shazam." And my brain just went, "You fucking idiot."
You threw up in your brain.
You're wearing Levi jeans right now, and it's not even spelt different.
What kind of jeans do you wear, Levy?
Yeah.
Levy jeans.
I drove my Chevy to the levee, and the levee was dry. Oh, my God. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Shazam movie. I'm looking forward to the sequel, and if it ties in, which it should, they're all.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
Rock has apparently been very vocal in behind the scenes area about trying to keep
really
this.
Passionate about trying to get this Black Adam thing done, and making it clear that he's not out to be a bad guy Black Adam. He's
Wants to be more anti-hero, right?
Yeah, it's more of how we've been seeing villains set up, where we see their origins from their perspective. That way, when they interact with our iconic hero, we understand their point of view, and it's all right, we get where they're coming from. They're still the bad guy.
Yeah.
But
we don't have to have a half hour of exposition on why they have that
we
look.
don't have to cram in garbage exposition.
Yeah.
Like we've seen maybe with General Zod in Man of Steel. And stuff
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay, so here's our first look, and I'm curious as to what the plot of this movie is gonna be.
I was gonna say,
is he the
modern times, right?
Yeah, it's is he the villain of the movie? Is there a bigger villain that Dr. Fate is recruiting him to help stop?
I'm gonna laugh if he's got space dementia and he doesn't remember exactly what's going on, and so he thinks his place is still under attack, and so
is there a bigger threat that? What would be a big enough threat? And are we getting cameos from any of the other DCEU videos?
He is a bad guy, but we also don't know the stance of these guys here.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, what I'm curious is, are they going to try to connect it to the DC Extended Universe?
I think, yeah.
With a Superman cameo, or a Batman cameo, or Zachary Levi cameo.
I think so, because
at the very least, Shazam, right?
Yeah, because he's been pretty vocal about wanting his Black Adam to fight Superman.
Yeah.
So.
Which, are we even going to get to keep Henry Cavill?
I have no clue. Especially now with DC being retards and greenlighting 2 different Batman movies.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
It's the dumbest thing ever. And I'm not even getting into the politics of it, but it's politically motivated.
Well, I mean, and one of them is the Michael Keaton Batman Beyond type movie, right?
Is that confirmed?
That's the rumor. What have they greenlit? What's been confirmed?
Anything Batman related, I have no clue.
Well, see, I've heard.
Because I know there's the Flash movie with Keaton's Batman.
Yeah.
Or Keaton as Batman.
Keaton in it as Batman, because there's still rumors that Affleck will be in it as well.
Yeah.
Just to kind of help tie everything up.
I think, because that's all been everything but confirmed, so that they can tie up Ben Affleck's Batman, I guess.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if they could somehow talk him into doing a little bit more. Imagine a 4-part miniseries of that Deathstroke Batman movie we were supposed to get.
Say, that's what we were supposed to get, and they just kind of pissed it off.
I would much rather. Call me crazy, but I like long-form entertainment more than I like movies.
Yeah.
I love movies. Don't get me wrong. I like being able to go, and it's like an event. Yeah. It's 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours if it's Justice League.
I was going to say, the movies are good between the long-form entertainment for big stuff.
With comic book stuff, I kind of think it works better movie-wise if they do a blending like Marvel seems to be doing. Marvel seems to be doing what I've always wanted them to do. Not just them, but
series between movies.
Yeah, where comics are a long-form entertainment where you have issues come out once a month, once every couple weeks, maybe even longer than that. And having it on TV having, like, you've got your WandaVision show, your Falcon show, you've got your this show, and then all of them come together for Avengers 5 or whatever. And
I mean, if they could write them decently.
well, like, they're doing it right now with, they've got Kamala Khan having her own show. They
Is that
introduced...
before or after the Marvels?
That's before the Marvels. They're doing... this is just off the top of my head, how they're doing their connections. So, they introduced Monica Rambeau on WandaVision. Kamala Khan's getting her own show, and then they're both going to be in the Marvels. Riri Williams, Ironheart, is going to be introduced in Black Panther 2 as one of... what's her name? Yeah, I know. She's going to be...
Really
it's the MIT
work.
connection, because what's her name? Shuri
Yeah.
allegedly goes to MIT or went to MIT or something like that. And that she's friends with Riri there.
Yeah.
So they're going to introduce her there. Then she's getting her own show.
Yeah.
And she's also going to be in Armor Wars.
I was going to say, did you hear, after the Eternals just came out?
I haven't heard anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof.
What do you mean, oof? Well, I heard that the critical report is, a review on, like, Rotten Tomatoes is low.
Yeah.
But I never really pay attention to that.
A few of the major reviewers are starting to call for the end of the MCU. Because it's so... It's so... They feel like it's a garbled mess. But they think it's a garbled mess for a different reason than I do.
You think it's garbled because of the writing, right?
Yes.
Okay, why do they think it's garbled?
I think
as spoiler-free as you can if you've
I don't
been
know
spoiled.
anything that happens in the movie.
Okay.
So, I mean...
Are they just saying it's getting too convoluted?
I think so. I think it's... I can see that because it's like...
Yeah.
They've set up the MCU with Iron Man and led up to this major event that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're trying to, like, jump back in time and set something up, and they made that mistake with
I see
Captain
what you're
Marvel,
saying.
where you introduce a character at the late stage, and then you leave the... You're setting up events where you're leaving more questions than you are answers.
Yeah.
And so it's getting to a point where you're not going to have an opportunity to provide those answers because you're getting shut out.
Yeah.
Because people do not like your content anymore. So that's... The more... When it happened, when we first talked about it, we were talking about what we would like to see happen. We always talked about them going back to a ground level with, like, when they introduced the announcement of Blade, they were like, this is what we want based off, like, what they've got set up. Because at the time it was like, here's the next Spider-Man movie, here's what we want is, like, we know Spider-Man's in trouble. He's going to need a lawyer. Daredevil. Something's going to happen. Supernatural, whatever. That's where Blade comes in. And everything kind of, like, goes back to a moderately grounded level with a new theme of a small supernatural aspect.
Yeah.
But now they've, like, shot their splooge all over the place.
Well,
And they're trying to, like, see what hits.
in what way? Because, like, I can kind of see where you're coming from. Like, the only thing I can think of is that they're branching out into more of the magical realm.
They are.
And, like, even in did you see Shang-Chi?
No.
Would you be upset if I spoiled a tiny thing?
It's been out long enough.
Okay.
If you haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, it's fine. It's on.
Well, I'm saying for you.
Yeah, I mean, I know mostly what happens in it.
Well, if you haven't seen it, I suggest checking it out at the very least.
I've heard it's a man. It's not bad.
It's not bad. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you I'm so biased that it's the greatest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've heard
the fight choreography is fun. Simu, I thought, did a really great job.
Yeah.
I thought he did really well with the character.
Yeah. So what's the part you
visually? Well, what I was getting at was that they did something that excited me in the same way. It made me think of Doctor Strange, because in Doctor Strange we have this moment where the Ancient One shows Strange the multiverse in quotes, like not how we've now seen it through Loki, but shows him the different realms real quick, and it opened up from where we'd been in the MCU, where, I mean, we had Thor and we had different planets, but we hadn't had this level of crazy.
Yeah.
And
this is different dimension.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it showed us a look at that. And to me, that was Marvel going, there's so much here we can play with.
Yeah.
And Shang-Chi just does something similar where they have to go to another realm for the final battle thing, where this mystical energy comes from.
Right.
And the way they do that, it shows this other realm with a different type of magic and a different this and that. And I was like, man, this is fucking beautiful. Number one, the whole design of that over there, they had like Pokemon looking shit. It was incredible. It was beautiful. And I was like, now we're starting to get to see, we've been in the space in the tech realm. Now with Phase 4 going out, especially with the multiverse shit going on, Marvel's like, let's get a little crazy, let's get a little mystical, and show what else we've got. Because Marvel's got enough things and enough different genres that we could get different types of movies for the next 10 years.
Yeah, it just right now seems like they have an idea on paper, but the execution just seems like a gobbled mess.
I think it seems that way now, but I don't think it will in the long run.
I don't think so either. And I think that's the problem, though, is like they've got like a new phase lined out. They're more excited about what's going to happen at the end.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to rush it all up to that. That way, when you look at it in retrospect, it's like, oh, this kind of made sense. The terribleness we saw in Loki kind of makes sense now. Like,
well, see, I wouldn't agree that they are rushing it. If anything, I've heard more people complaining they're taking too long to get to the next big thing, which I think we need that slowdown.
It took 10 years to get to Endgame.
Yeah, but I think it needs that because we've just come off Endgame, and it's like I've said this before, but it's like, where do you go from there? You have to go back down and start slow again to build back up.
My other thing too is like with the Eternals, I'm going to retract. Actually, I kind of know what happens in Eternals.
I kind of think, and don't confirm or deny, but I kind of think that because I've seen the cast list for the movie, I think most of them are going to die. I think whatever this big threat they're going to fight is, like, let's say there's 10 of them.
Well, I mean, it's the Eternals, so everything's kind of like...
Well, I know, but I think, like, looking at the cast list, let's say there's 10 of them, I can't remember the number, but I think at least 4 or 5 are going to die.
I have no clue.
Like, I think that's how they're going to show
what... It's going to be a one-shot type thing.
Yeah.
Where they might have a cameo once in a blue moon, but...
Yeah,
It's also people we haven't seen in a long time, like Angelina Jolie. Where the hell has she been?
Right.
You know?
And she looks fucking dope. All of them look so cool. I think they look so cool.
They look okay, but when you look at the context of things, it's like you're a demigod. You can alter your look and everything, and how you operate. Why are you gonna be deaf?
It makes me wonder.
Why are you gonna be fat? You're a god. What are you doing?
Well, he's a god. Being fat doesn't slow him down at all. Like, look at Vorstag from Thor, the big fat bearded guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's a fucking not Atlantean. He's a Asgardian.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter that he's fat.
In that realm, it makes sense.
They're eternal, like god beings. If he's fat, it doesn't matter.
Not Eternals. They're not Celestials.
That's true, but they're basically immortal, functionally.
They have a prolonged life.
Yeah. I think visually it looks cool as shit. Yeah. I do think it is funny, the point. Why are you deaf?
Why are you deaf? You're a god.
Oh my god, yeah. We're gonna try to go see it, and I think that'll be fun. Yeah. I haven't heard what, but I know there's supposed to be 2 end credit scenes.
1 or 2. I don't know. It's getting to the point now where it's like,
without. Try not to spoil it, but what have you heard? Like, have you heard what the bad guy is? Have you heard what the ending is?
Yeah, it's setting up the next semi-baddie.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it's not even that big of a spoiler either.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I've been going into this as cold as possible.
Because, like, when I didn't actively go out and look for it, I just came across it.
Yeah.
And when I saw who it was, I was like...
Didn't really blow you away.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not surprised, but like...
So is it a cameo from a future villain or a hero or what?
It's a future character.
Okay, that's
okay. Because you don't want spoilers, and I'll be nice to whoever's listening.
Okay, I appreciate that.
It's somebody who's they want to be a pivotal character.
Okay, cool. That sounds awesome.
So,
Looking forward to that now.
I just my concern right now is they've had Endgame.
Yeah.
Endgame was a huge thing. The Infinity War was a big old deal.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, we need something bigger than like this event. What are we gonna do? And everybody who gives a shit has been saying before Endgame, well, I guess after Endgame and before all this, we've been saying we want Galactus. We want these other things. But based on what's happening right now, Galactus doesn't even seem like that big of a threat now.
Well,
it seems so insignificant.
Galactus needs to wait. Are you saying because they're going into a multiversal threat?
They're going into a bigger thing that would make Galactus invading and eating the world seem insignificant.
But as we've talked about before, I don't think that Kang is going to be the first villain. I think Kang is just going to keep popping up like Thanos did. Kang's going to be the final villain of this arc, I think.
Guess.
And we'll probably get, for want of a better phrase, smaller villains like Galactus and maybe Ultron again. Well, that's why I said, quote unquote, because in the context of what you're saying, a multiversal threat versus a global threat. In terms of that, he's a smaller villain.
Like Galactus isn't really multiversal.
No, he's a universal threat.
Yeah, he's an intergalactic threat.
But
so like that would have been an okay next step because Thanos snapped half the population, but he didn't destroy the world.
Yeah.
Like the world would have been okay, and like civilization would have thrived on a smaller scale. But now you've got this intergalactic world eater.
Granted, he did that to the universe.
He did.
He didn't just do it to Earth. He did it everywhere.
Earth, yeah. But in the context of Earth, because they did have like interplanetary travel and whatnot. But on a very minute scale, yeah. I think introducing Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, but see, I would wait on Galactus. I don't know what to do in the middle, but I would think Galactus wouldn't be... Like, let's say between now and their next Endgame, let's say we get 3 Avengers movies.
I was going to say, we're not getting the mutants.
Well, but let's say we get 3 Avengers movies. In between now and Kang's multiversal war movie, right?
I hate the idea of that with what we've got.
Well, I know, but I maintain that we're in the build-up, and it'll get better.
Well, I say that because Marvel finally was able to establish Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor as household names.
Yeah.
They weren't really household names before all this.
Yeah.
They had big sales, but in terms of comics and everything, they weren't huge. And as soon as they got huge, they fucked them.
Well, I mean, they're just progressing the timeline of the comics at a different rate.
Yeah, I guess.
But what was I saying?
We get 3 Avengers movies.
Yeah. So, like, let's say we get 3 Avengers titled movies. Avengers, blah blah blah. Before we get Endgame, and I'll even say the 3rd Avengers in that would be the Infinity War, so the one right before Endgame. Okay. So let's say if there's 4 movies, yeah, I would wait until at least the 2nd one, if not the 3rd one, to have Galactus. I wouldn't have it because you damn sure got to set up the Fantastic Four first, which we know we're getting in Phase 4. You damn sure got to set up them. You need to fucking settle down whatever's about to happen in Spider-Man. And, like, I would definitely say it's going to be a minute until we get Galactus.
The other thing, too, that's lingering on my mind, anybody who's been paying attention now, is the events that happened in Loki.
Which part?
Where everything is essentially scripted.
Well, scripted or like I still look at it like a time loop that he's just been observing.
Yeah.
And his script is from what happened last time, and that's why maybe at the end of his script she had already killed him.
The bottom line is everybody's going to be doing something in accordance to what they're supposed to be
Not
doing.
anymore, because his script it ended at a certain point. Because all he was doing was making sure there was no more Kangs. That was the whole point of the TVA, was to keep more Kangs from showing up.
Sure, to an extent. But
Well, I mean, he gave them...
the show was still a convoluted.
It was, but it was also their first real big foray into time travel and multiverse, and multiverse is a tricky subject.
Great. On an objective.
I see your point. I disagree. I think it came out well.
It was bad. Objectively, it was bad. It could have been cleaned up. They could have done it a lot easier. But I don't know. Because in theory, I like the idea that what we've seen was supposed to happen the way it did, and then that handle gets destroyed. That way, when you go back and watch the movies, it's kind of like, okay, I understand that this is happening, and like I know there's these interdimensional things
Continue.
that are happening.
Yeah, peppermint break.
Okay, I'm just gonna go right here. Okay, so I know that there's like, when you go back and watch the movies now, in the current state of things, you're watching them, and at the back of my mind, it's like, this is all scripted, this is all happening while these other people actually exist to an extent, you know. Because like you go back, you watch Iron Man 1, you know. It's like, if something had happened and Tony decided to be greedy at some point towards the end where he's having like his character arc kind of come full circle, like what would have happened if he had decided not to tell Pepper to hit the button? What if he had just decided to like blow them all up at the same time, like sacrifice Potts with him?
Well, in a different universe, he did.
Did he though?
We don't know.
Or did the time cops come in and wipe everything and say, "Fuck you, Tony"?
Hey, maybe without Tony, maybe they're gonna go the route where Tony's Kang's ancestor, and without Tony, you never know. Like watching What If, Tony died in like almost every one of those fucking episodes.
It's kind of weird how they really want to fucking kill.
They kept killing his ass off, that poor bastard. Which, dude, I wanted to be so surprised whenever, of course, What If led to a crossover.
Yeah.
I was like, you could have just done individual episodes. I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I was like, I kind of liked the idea of doing a What If series, where I think Feige even talked about here, it was going to be like an episode per movie of a What If about that movie, and then it didn't end up being that, which, and I may be misremembering.
It turned out like I figured it would, that it would tie in to the overall things of the MCU. That way they've got the possibility that if they want to introduce those characters to the live screen or something, they can do that now because...
Well, they can in terms of saying it happens inside the massive multiverse, but none of them touch the actual movies.
That's true, but they have confirmed that the series What If is canon. So there's that possibility that if they want to do a
But see, it's easy to say that because all of the multiverse is so massive, they can just be like, it is canon, it's just happening way the fuck over here.
Yeah, that's true. In that context, too, you could just say everything that's happened in the comic books is also canon in the MCU.
Yeah. Which it is.
Yeah.
According to Marvel canon, the MCU is like Earth 009999 or some bullshit like that. But I think that's how they're going to try to explain, if they bring in the other Spider-Men, is give them whatever their designation numbers are and shit.
Yeah. That's the other problem. Multiverses and stuff in comic books is like it only works for a short period of time before you gotta destroy it.
Yeah.
And so that's why every time Marvel or DC has had a multiversal storyline that by the end of it they have to destroy the multiverse.
Or that everybody just goes back to their own world.
Yeah.
And like the device that was used to travel between.
Yeah, I was going to say whatever was used as a catalyst to open up a multiverse is destroyed, though.
Yeah. My favorite is I think it was from Crisis on Infinite Earth, was the Miracle Machine. Not Miracle Machine. It was this giant ship that traveled between dimensions that all the heroes, the multiversal heroes, traveled on.
Oh, yeah.
And it's this great moment where they go, and it's the Calvin Ellis Superman, the Black President Superman.
Oh, yeah.
And the Wonder Woman there is black, and they show up, and it's the Question, the female version of the Question. That's Renee Montoya.
Yeah.
She pokes her head out, and she goes, "Why is in all the multiverse do they always look like you?" Because she's recruiting Superman and shit like that, and it's like Superman and Wonder Woman just look at her like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
You know, it's funny too because I like the idea too now that like even the past like one-off Marvel movies that weren't intertwined.
They're canon. They're in the multiverse.
The Punisher movie with Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's.
Think of how much
Daredevil.
references they could do if they did a full-blown like crossover for the Kang thing. We could get what people joked about with Endgame, where the portals open up and it's Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man and shit.
Yeah.
You get Thomas Jane's Punisher. You get Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider.
Oh my god!
You get a couple of the Marvel X-Men. Not all of them, just a couple.
Crap. Let me just say, so touching on Ghost Rider stuff. So at the end of the TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
yeah,
at the end of that one season where they had Ghost Rider and he takes off through a Doctor Strange-esque portal that he makes with his chain whip.
Yep.
It's like, are we going to see him? Because that looks like the same type of portal, you know? How hilarious.
And I'd love if they were able to bring them back through, because they're definitely, even in terms of the MCU's definition of time travel and multiverse, they're in another universe, another timeline.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if they ever fully decanonized Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think it gets decanonized once they start fucking with time.
Yeah. Well, I remember at one point they did say, like, everything that happened in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is decanonized. Right?
The opening for Age of Ultron, where they're going to get the scepter, the intel on where that thing was found in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the whole thing of that show, too. It was like it was intertwining with the events and things happening.
Well, and they've always tried to do that, but always didn't have the balls. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did it the most, where they even had a cameo from Lady Sif.
Yeah.
And, Fury was on there a handful of times.
But it was, I remember they tried to do that, but it was only audio stuff or, like, loose hologram.
Sam Jackson was on there, like, at least twice.
Like, in the flesh?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
At least twice.
Only kept up with it up to season 2, like, roughly through then on.
But, like, even the Netflix Marvel stuff, they gave references.
Yeah.
That,
they barely even touched it.
Yeah, which, I want those characters back.
Yeah.
There's been, like, somebody asked John Bernthal about if he would come back to the Marvel to do, like, Wolverine, and he was like, I would do that, but I would much rather do Frank Castle.
Yeah. I was going to say, out of the Netflix stuff, I would love to see Daredevil and Punisher come back.
Yep. I wouldn't mind if we got a Heroes for Hire. Like, even not recasting. Because I think what pissed a lot of people off about season 1 of Iron Fist, which I did not dislike. I didn't dislike Iron Man at all. Or, not Iron Man, Iron Fist at all. I think what got him was the writing. The writing on season 2 was way better.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
For Iron Fist season 2?
That was
worse for me. I didn't like it.
In terms of characterization for, like, Danny.
I didn't like it because,
I liked his character in season 2 a lot better.
He wasn't Iron Fist anymore.
Well, that was story reason, but, like, I'm saying in terms of, like, how the character is written and stuff like that.
Like, the first season, like, it was okay. Because, like, I was really looking forward to Iron Fist.
Protector of Kunlun.
Iron Fist is one of my favorite characters. And so, like, the first season, like, every 5 minutes, he could not go without saying,
I am the Iron Fist, Protector of Kunlun.
Iron Fist.
I loved the little cameos that him and, Luke Cage had on each other's shows.
Yeah.
Both of those episodes were highlights of the season.
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, Marvel, Heroes for Hire. Look at these.
And then by the end of season 2 for Iron Fist, like I was like, God damn it, this season sucks ass. And then like the last scene of season 2,
he's got the guns.
I'm like, oh, we're getting that Iron Fist.
Yeah. I actually did like the twist of that chick getting the power and hers being white. I thought that was really cool.
I thought that was interesting.
And especially channeling it through the sword instead of her fist. I was like, that's dope as shit. And then canceled.
Yeah.
All the Netflix Marvels canceled.
It sucked too because like Daredevil was like the peak of Marvel at that point.
We're good.
And so it was.
Yeah. We're done.
Alright, so where were we? Okay, so, Daredevil. Netflix's Daredevil was like the peak of Marvel writing.
It's arguably probably the best thing that Marvel as a
Absolutely.
studio has put out. Period.
Absolutely. Like, when season 2 was meh. Season 3 was good. I think that was the last one, wasn't it?
Sir, season 2 introduced Punisher.
Yeah, I know, but overall, it was okay compared to season 1.
Season 1 was better.
Yeah. But it had a total of 3 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Season 3 was good. I like season 3. And I was like, man, if this is where Marvel's going, holy heck, I am ready for this.
I was excited.
Nope.
Now, do you think the quality of the Netflix shows affected how we view the Disney Plus shows?
It affects the potential of where they could go. Because there's absolutely no reason they could not emulate that or bring it back.
No.
Just because it's on Disney Plus doesn't mean they can't have that edgy to it.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, Netflix has Netflix Kids. There's no reason you can't have a separation for
Disney Plus has The Simpsons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
but they're also a bunch of pussies over there and have cut out episodes or re-edited.
just put a warning at the beginning of the show.
No, that would make too much sense.
They do it for the racist cartoons.
They used to, and I think they cut that out or cut the movie or something. I don't know.
No, they just put a warning.
Some of them they did. Some of them they've edited out some of the stuff. Like, I think, was it the
Pussies.
Fox and the Hound where the that racist song is?
I haven't seen that movie in years.
Song of the South? It's in one of those Disney movies. And originally, I'm obviously not a big Disney kid, but I think it was Fox and the Hound. Could be wrong. Yell at me in the comments. That was in one of the movies, and they put the warning warning. You know, this movie is a property or product of its age and time. Yada yada. Doesn't represent views of the current Disney. Yada yada.
Yeah.
And I think they eventually just cut that whole number out. And I'm like, wow, you bunch of retards.
Yeah.
And
that's tragic.
Yeah, my compromise would have been putting the warning at the front.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're sensitive to this, go cry about it.
Yeah, maybe put a timestamp in your warning. At this time, there's going to be a racist-ass song.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But yeah, they could do that for, if they brought back Daredevil and stuff. Because if they do it now, and I know they want to bring back Charlie Cox's Daredevil and John Bernthal's Punisher.
Yeah, they really want them back.
It's not going to be the same if they try to
if they try to polish them up at all.
If they try to sugarcoat them.
I think the stupid thing to do would be to try to soft reboot them. They should just, in terms of try to show us any facet of their origin again.
Yeah.
I just want do with them like you did with Spider-Man, especially if you change it.
Yeah.
If they change it up a little, just
bring him in.
Boom, there they are.
Just bring him in. We
Yeah,
don't need
new suit, new haircut.
Everybody knows them. Every reboot we've ever had of them in the comics, the origin is roughly the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
There's no reason to retread that.
just drop them in. If you want to add,
Especially when they trusted people with Spider-Man. I mean, Daredevil and Punisher aren't exactly the household name that Spider-Man is.
yeah,
But enough people know.
yeah,
Daredevil's blind. Chemicals in his eyes. Punisher kills people because his family was killed.
yeah.
Good enough. It's like we don't need to see Martha Wayne get
If
her
you want
pearls ripped off
if you want
anymore.
to add like a minute exposition because the titular character doesn't know him, or is like, why are you dressing up like a devil?
Yeah.
You know.
Like I really hope, I haven't seen it in any of the trailers, I really hope Matt Reeves did not put Martha and Thomas Wayne being killed in the Batman. Because we don't need it again.
Yeah.
We have seen so many slow-mo action shots of those fucking pearls falling on the ground.
It's almost a competition to see who can die more between Martha and Thomas Wayne
And Uncle Ben.
And Uncle Ben.
I did hear a possible spoilery rumor for Spider-Man regarding
A flashback for Uncle Ben?
regarding someone dying.
Oh.
And it's ballsy.
I assume somebody's gonna die.
Well, it's not someone in a suit.
I could see them killing off Aunt
May.
Aunt May, yeah.
That's what the rumor I heard was.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's ballsy. Because she dies in One More Day.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason for going to Mephisto. So I was like,
yeah.
I could see it. They seem to be blending 2 or 3 stories, so I could see them doing it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the entirety of One More Day. I've just heard a lot of people who do know of it do not like it.
Okay, so as a brief rundown.
Okay.
It's post-Civil War, so Spider-Man's identity is out.
Yeah.
And the Kingpin hires a hitman to shoot him. Well, when he goes to shoot him, Mary Jane is in the way.
Uh-huh.
And Spidey's senses kick in, and he moves Mary Jane out of the way, and Aunt May was behind him, and she gets shot.
Oh, yeah.
So the whole story of One More Day is she's on life support,
Yeah.
and they're trying to be under the radar because he's on the run,
Right.
and he's out in his street clothes because fuck it, everyone knows Peter Parker is
Yeah.
Spider-Man, hunting down who did the thing,
Right.
which it ends with. It has one of probably my most badass moments of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Where he goes in the black suit for most of this, mind you. No joking, he's just beating the shit out of people. I love black suit, angry Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's always written so fun.
Yeah.
He breaks into the raft to confront Kingpin, because of course it's Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
Which, can I just say, as a side note, give me D'Onofrio's Kingpin back.
They need to bring him back.
Oh
Absolutely.
my god, I so desperately want to see him beat the shit out of Tom Holland's Spider-Man while Holland makes jokes.
Oh my god. Seeing him ragdoll Tom Holland.
Like Thor, like Loki
Hulk
on Hulk.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god, that would be beautiful.
Be amazing. But anyway, he goes to confront Kingpin and just whoops, with the H in front of the W,
Yeah.
whoops Kingpin's ass in front of everybody.
Yeah.
As a message of like, I could kill you.
Right.
I could do it so easily. And he doesn't do it in the suit. He takes his shirt off and shit, so he's in his just black pants.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm sending a message, nobody fuck with my family. And that's how it ends, that shit.
Yeah.
With her dying, her about to die, and they've made this deal with the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'll take your marriage, make everyone forget who you are. Or actually, that part was thrown in.
Yeah.
The deal was take their marriage and May would live, and Mary Jane threw in take his identity away as well.
Yeah.
It was a decent story, but I see why a lot of people had issues with it.
I was going to say, yeah,
The deal
I
with
don't
the devil
know it
part,
entirely. I just know a lot of people have had issues with it where it's like on the lesser end of their notable Spider-Man storyline.
Well, and I mean, a big issue with it, and I think we talked about this last time when we talked about the Spider-Man trailer, was it was the fact that it undid so much of, like, it didn't send them back in time.
Yeah, it just undid
retconned
a lot
his
of
life.
I was going to say it undid a lot of growing up
Yeah.
that the character did.
Yeah, and they even like Spidey, it seemed even didn't remember, depending on who was writing it.
Yeah.
Didn't remember a lot of things. Like you would think he would still have the memory of like what actually happened.
That's kind of the issue that we're having with the MCU. Also, is like they're getting people in on this who either don't know the character or don't.
Well,
they're not.
Research can be done. Like in the case of we've argued a few times, and I by the way. When we did the Loki thing and I said that I believe that she was just fucking with everybody, that was just me riling you up. But I think it was about how the head writer didn't know who Mephisto was.
Oh, that was for WandaVision.
WandaVision.
But yeah, I think she did something for Loki. I don't remember.
No, it was the WandaVision. That's but I wholeheartedly believe it's possible she didn't know. But in a show where the boys are a part of the main story.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Even if she knew nothing about the character Wanda before starting, when she did her research, you cannot Google Tommy and Billy without Mephisto being part of it because he's so integral. So I believe that it's possible what she meant was I didn't know who Mephisto was. There's no fucking way she researched these characters to write about them, and his name didn't pop up. She absolutely knows who Mephisto
or just completely ignored it.
There's no fucking way.
Because it could have been like one of those things where it's like, we want these characters in the show, implement them how you will. And so she goes and like Googles Tommy and Billy, and it says
Marvel
people who also search this also search Mephisto.
Well, no, if you search Tommy and Billy, it's in their description because that they are created by Mephisto. Like it's part of their mythos. That's what I mean when I say I think
they've rewritten some of the origin for the stuff and throughout the MCU. So,
but I think when people like her, which that was a dumb thing to say, at least especially worded the way she said it.
The other dumb part of that too is hiring or is getting what's his nuts? The guy who played Quicksilver.
Oh, yeah.
Getting him specifically.
Well, and that was supposed to just be a joke. Like, keep in mind,
but to do that to people who have been paying attention, who've watched these movies.
Yes, I agree it's shitty.
So it's like, why would you do that
I agree
them?
It's shitty. But it doesn't make it lesser because it's a dick move. Yeah. Like, keep in mind that WandaVision was supposed to come out like 4th or 5th in the lineup until everything got shifted around. It wasn't supposed to open the shit. So it was supposed to be this kind of lighthearted thing in the middle, in between some of the more drama-heavy things. Which, not to say it didn't have drama. But, like, the Ralph Boner thing, I think, and they've mentioned it. Like, it was supposed to be a fucking like fan servicey thing of like he's in the show, he's not playing Quicksilver,
he's not actually Quicksilver.
But I think that's all it was, and they've said as much.
But I've tried to rationalize it with myself to the best I could, and it's just like there's a multiverse, so there is theoretically a legitimate Quicksilver that is this guy.
Well, but I mean, multiverse aside, it's because we know he played Quicksilver. He's just a dude. It just happens they cast Evan Peters. But the reason it's Evan Peters is a fan servicey thing of like, look, he's in the show.
Yeah, because
I doubt they're ever going to really do.
Because you wouldn't have gotten the reaction you would have out of the audience when they introduced him at the end of the one episode.
But if they had casted anybody else other than Aaron Taylor Johnson to play fake Pietro, it wouldn't have gotten any reaction other than why doesn't Wanda recognize him? But using him, it gives the fans at home that reaction of like, oh my god, is it multiverse? It's a fan servicey thing, I think.
I get it. I just don't think they thought about it longer than that.
Let's have it
to think about like the legitimate consequences of like, wait a minute, is this too much?
Well, I don't think they're ever going to properly cross over the First Class X-Men. I think they're going to totally reboot them.
I mean, it's been way too long at this point.
Like, especially when I can think of better characters for that cast to play.
I was going to say, we're at a point again where we're recasting the X-Men. Because, like, before Tom Hardy got confirmed for the role of Eddie Brock,
I wanted him as Venom so bad.
We were shipping
not
him
Venom,
for Wolverine.
Wolverine. Oh my god. And mine only came because of a fan art somebody made of him leaning against the wall smoking a cigar.
It was between him and what's his nuts?
I still think
Clint Eastwood's son.
Scott Eastwood.
Scott Eastwood.
I still think Daniel Radcliffe could do it. I'm not saying he's perfect, but I think he could do it. I think it's possible.
I don't think he's got the range. He hasn't really grown up as an actor.
I don't know. Have you seen Guns Akimbo?
I have, but I mean, you watch Harry Potter 1 to the end. Everybody else but Harry Potter has grown up as a character.
Excuse me. He got a haircut. So obviously he matured. He went from that crazy shit in Goblets of Fire. He got a haircut to show that time had passed.
Oh man. You know who'd be really funny is Multiverse Punisher. Alec Baldwin.
Oh my god. That segue.
Oh god. I've been trying to work that in. I've been trying to work that in since we first mentioned the multiverse.
You've been waiting for a good segue to do it. Oh god.
I was trying to use the multiverse when I mentioned Thomas Jane's Punisher. I was trying to fit that in. So.
Oh my god. Okay, so how should we start this conversation?
I don't even care.
Talk about it.
Look, we've talked about this long enough before recording that no matter what happens, whatever we talk about, I don't care how long we talk about the Alec Baldwin thing, the episode is going to be called Alec Baldwin's Retirement Plan.
So.
Oh man, what a wild time though.
So should we break down like what exactly happened?
I mean, I feel like everybody's paid attention to it enough to kind of get what's going on.
So the accident on set.
If you want to, yeah.
Okay. Alec Baldwin
there was heavy negligence.
Heavy negligence. He was handed a hot gun and was told it was a cold gun, and he was allegedly drawing it. I think if I remember right, he was drawing the gun as a practice of like.
There was some new stuff that came out of it today that alludes to the possibility that maybe, allegedly, he did it on purpose. I'm not saying he did.
I haven't read that. Well, the story I'd read, like maybe yesterday, day before, was that he was handed the gun, was told it was cold, put it in his
the micro USB charger.
Oh, okay. He was handed the gun, told it was cold, and was doing like he has a cross holster.
Yeah.
And was like practicing of like, Alec, show us your draw, and and when it fired, allegedly his first words were, "Why the fuck would you give me a hot gun?"
Yeah.
Which, fair question.
A fair question.
There shouldn't.
But also, again, you're given the gun, you should check that gun.
You should, but you should also be able to trust that the weapons master handing it to you, who says this is a cold gun, is not full of shit.
True, but also, even if you, you hand me something.
Especially because, and I agree with you that it should be checked, but only because, according to firearms experts that have come out since this happened, the proper
safety.
Yeah, the proper etiquette for it is the prop master comes up to you, or weapons handler, comes up and says, "Josh, this is a revolver. Here are the bullets in the chamber. They are all blanks. Here they are. Boom, here it goes. And that is a hot gun. That's yours."
Yeah.
There's a process. Now, I don't know if that was followed. I'm not there.
And again, Alec Baldwin is the producer.
He is the producer.
He hired these people.
But, dude, that's just such a fucked situation of and I feel so bad for him. Because he was friends with him. Even her husband come out and was like, Alex, not blaming Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Which, if the woman's widower is leave Alec alone, I'm gonna side with him.
God.
I think it was just a tragic accident. If nobody fucked on his part, because it's totally possible that one of the stories going around right now is that it's possible sabotage from the a disgruntled crew. Because I can't think of any reason there needs to be live ammo on a set anyway.
Well, that's the thing, too, is, like, there's only been, like, less than a handful of times where somebody was shot.
Yeah.
On set, like the last one we can think of that comes to mind
Lee.
was Brandon Lee for The Crow in 90, was it 93, 94?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 93. And, you know, ever since then, there was an overhaul of how that, how that process, you know, went about. Of, like, if you're going to be using guns, you can only use these type of guns.
Yeah.
And you can only use this type of ammunition. You know, you can only use, like, this qualified type of blanks or whatever. And so, like, you know, some companies have opted for rubber guns. Some have opted for...
going totally digital.
Yeah, yeah. And, like, especially with today now, it's more... there should be no reason to use dummy guns.
No. Because
now that you've got, like, the airsoft guns and stuff that are, like, near replicas of, like, real-life performing guns...
Yeah.
Only thing you gotta do is add the after effect of the gun firing and the shell flying out.
Well, I mean, even with dummy rounds, like not blanks,
dummy rounds,
full-on dummy rounds.
I was gonna say
the chamber slides. It all works. 'Cause they make guns. They're prop.
Well,
bullets.
that's what I was saying. Was like there's the airsoft guns.
Yes, but those don't look like, especially at the tip of the barrel and shit.
No, it looks real.
Yeah,
I've got one. I've got two.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got one that's a Glock 19. It looks real. You compare it to, like, the same thing, it looks real.
Well, I would much...
The only thing you would have to do is, like, alter the magazines and stuff, but...
Like, I would... I've been writing a web series, like, as an amateur filmmaker in training, because I've been doing little online things.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, too, they also have...
I would want rubber bullets, at least. Like,
they have sim rounds.
Bullets.
A lot of training programs, they use sim rounds.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it's soft chalk tips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not even blanks.
Still shoots a projectile.
It's a projectile of sorts, but yeah. So it's like...
See, I would just do dummy rounds and then CG in the flare later.
Yeah, but I mean, the blanks alone, like, that's all you would need. But the issue, bottom line, is, how did live rounds get on set?
Yeah.
And so that's currently the focal point of the investigation, I think. And so, again, it's up to... right now, it would have been up to Alec Baldwin as a producer and actor. In the process of things, all right, this is what we're going to do. I'm hiring this person. I need to... And he's been around long enough, but I'm going to say as just a general point. Hire your armor, hire a gun handler, have them demonstrate their knowledge of things, and then ask them, okay, this is what I want to do, these are the intentions, I want to try to get as realistic as I can. Yeah. What can we do with your knowledge and what we can afford with this budget I'm presenting to you?
Well, in Devil's Advocate, like, let's say all that was followed, and it's just the gun sitting on the prop table.
I was going to say eventually, eventually it would get to the point where it's like it should be up to Alec and the armorer to walk through and say, all right, this is the gun we're using. This is the type of blanks we're using. This is what it looks like. I'm loading in.
And that's how it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But, like, again, Devil's Advocate here, because I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But let's just say everything was followed to the letter. They have the prop gun on the table, and somebody comes, and that's where the sabotage happens.
It's absolutely easy for some just random crew member to walk up, and it being revolvers.
And I would, but I keep going back to, I would trust the person I hired when they hand me a gun and tell me it's cold.
Yeah,
I expect it to be cold. They should go through that process, but maybe it was a quick thing. And again, it's trust.
Yeah,
I think there needs to be there shouldn't be any live ammo, and maybe there wasn't before somebody brought live ammo on.
The other thing too,
the shooting practice the day before.
Yeah. Why?
Okay, let me say this about that. You're out in the middle of nowhere in an Old West thing. Yeah. I can understand shooting off these guns, having some fun. You got Texans, you got people on the cast.
Sure.
But when you're done, all that fucking live ammo needs to go.
Yeah.
You got your weapons
Yeah.
masters there, a
Yeah.
weapon lady there, and yeah, have some fun. You got your weapon master, everybody on set.
Sure.
All the cast has been trained on how to
I'll
deal
give
with guns.
that.
But I'll acknowledge that maybe that could be kind. That
Yeah.
could be cool. But there's still, as when it's done, it needs to be the weapon master's job to
Yeah.
round up all that live or have produced that ammo.
Yeah.
And go, this is my live ammo. As the weapons master, you're shooting it. This is how many boxes I have. You're going to shoot these many boxes.
Yeah.
Have fun. I want empty fucking boxes back.
Yeah.
Like, there should be... I can acknowledge that it
Yeah.
might be something that could happen, but the fact that live ammo stays on set should not happen.
No, yeah. If like what they were saying was true, is like they were doing target practice with live ammo, that should have been in a completely different
Isolated
location.
situation, yeah.
Isolated, separate location where it's like, hey, we're going to go 20 miles to the shooting range.
That would be actually better.
And we're just going to let you get the feel of these guns. Like,
Yeah.
we could easily just load this up with blanks and let you go to town, like
Yeah.
behind the studio, but we're just going to let you understand, like, if, you know, the realism of it is like, this is a live gun, this is what you want to do if you want to hit your target, you know, this is how you would handle it.
Excuse me.
Not just blind fire and like, you know. But, yeah, like, I don't know. It's just wild how, like, the smallest thing that you thought they would have under control that you wouldn't even think of is, like, the...
But it's the basic of firearm safety on a set.
Yeah.
Is you fucking check that shit.
Again, Alec knowing what he was using. It wasn't a rubber gun.
Yeah. But it is smart, I think, that a lot of film companies, including potential presidential candidate Rock the Dwayne Johnson, that's twice I've made that joke. Let's see if I can get it a third time. He came out and said that his crew, what is it,
$7.
$7 production, they won't use live ammo, or not live ammo,
No,
real
they're
guns at
switching
all.
to rubber guns.
They're switching rubber guns, and it's
It's
going to
the
be...
dumbest thing ever.
Well, I mean, like you were saying, the airsoft, if the rubber guns look good enough, sure, but...
You're at the mercy of the actor to simulate the firing of that weapon. Then.
But see, that's where you're almost doing that anyway. Blanks don't fire with the same kind of percussion
there is
power.
a recoil, though.
There is a recoil, but you can fake that, but it's not as big of a recoil. However, all you have to do is maybe take them to the range, like we were saying, get them to shoot it enough so they understand how their shoulder kicks back, and like if you're a good enough actor, you can fake that.
Man, that's just more work.
I mean, yeah. But I don't know about rubber guns. I would think
No, because, like, I mean, Corridor Crew, you've seen what they've used behind the scenes. They use airsoft guns.
Yeah. Like, I think the closest I would go would be those inert dummy rounds where they don't fire a projectile. They don't even fire off a round or a flash of anything. They just rack the chamber. And I think that would be better. Because even there, like, it's not a gunshot feel, but you get that slight recoil of it hitting your hand.
Yeah.
And you
Well, I mean, that's kind of like what the airsoft is like, especially...
Yeah, but it's still a fake gun. Like, personally, I think it just looks better if it's a real gun.
No, they do make realistic airsoft guns. Like, all you got to do is take off that orange tip, and it looks real. If you're not looking down the barrel, it looks real.
No, that's fine. It can look real. I'm saying it looks better if it is real.
Oh, sure.
Not orange tip snapped off.
I know that,
Don't
but-
look too close at it. It's a real gun.
No,
It just doesn't
that's
have
what
no
I'm saying.
bullets
Is
in
like,
it.
if I had it here and I don't, it's over at my cousin's.
Yeah.
But, and I could swing by and get it. But, yeah, like, if you compared it to a real gun, there's little to no visual difference.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I would, if I was making the movies, I would still keep real guns. Just make it inert.
I would
ammo.
just be thorough also.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I would
cheap
be
out.
extra thorough.
I wouldn't be Alec Baldwin sitting on bukus of cash and still try to cheap out, you know? Especially when you're messing with revolvers, like, it's like the easiest thing. The guy hands you a revolver. All you gotta do is slide it open, look at the bullet, put it back in. All right, let's go.
Yeah, it's
like you're supposed
crazy.
to do in a general gun safety thing. The instructor,
it's supposed to happen every time.
Instructor tells you what it is, shows you the bullet, puts it back in, hands it to you. You run through, look at it.
It's just so crazy, man.
Yeah, like I said, and he's been around 35 plus years.
Yeah, he's been around a while.
He should know better.
But also with time can come complacency.
Sure. But it's just
And in there, it falls back to he just trusted the chick that handed him the gun, that she wasn't full of shit.
Who even herself admitted she did not fully trust herself because it was such a big, it was a bigger scale of things for her. She was like, I don't want to say 24, but she was really young. She's really early, and her father apparently is a very famous Hollywood armorer.
Yeah, which, I mean, that gives her a slight leg up, but
it kind of does. But at the same time,
she's still really young.
From what I'm understanding right now,
she's
less and less at fault.
Yeah.
So, because
really?
I don't know, because again, I haven't fully paid attention to the whole thing, and I have to recap events. But she's not the one who handed him the gun.
Really?
No.
See, that's interesting.
Because, there was the armor and then, the prop master. And I don't know if it was a prop master that handed him the gun.
That's interesting. So because, I didn't know that.
Because sometimes, I don't know. Again, it could have been a number of events that unfolded where, they just had the costumes laid out, they had the gun in the holster, and all he had to do was just slap the holster on. Or he could have just slapped the holster on and they handed him the gun.
That one is usually how it'll be. Is the the actors don't get the guns till it's time for the scene. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could have just been where all the guns are out on the tray like they're supposed to be, and the armor or prop master staying right there. They could have turned around for 1 minute. Oh, I forgot my water bottle, and Alec comes up. Oh, I forgot my gun. We just stick it here. It's literally just it's just such a minute window where everything can go wrong. Where it's prop master loads out the guns. I forgot my water bottle. They go into the trailer. Alec's oh, I don't have my gun. I'm gonna go get my gun. This looks like it. And then just puts it in his holster.
And grabs the wrong gun.
Grabs the wrong gun.
Jesus.
Yeah.
If that was possible, that's even worse than we thought.
Or just even, I don't know, the armor. She just told somebody, hey, load these guns with blanks. And it's nah. And it just, just somebody's looking at it. But
well, I think the main point, though, to come back to is there should not be, outside of blanks.
Yeah.
Blanks should be the most lethal thing on that set.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, technically anything could be lethal.
But in terms of projectiles.
Yeah.
That blank should be the deadliest thing that is going in that gun.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous that, I don't know. Cheaping. This is, you get what you pay for. It's literally the classic, you get what you pay for. Alec, as a producer, cheaped out, and there was already complaints on set from other crew. They were we don't like the working conditions. These conditions are god-awful. There was already two...
There was a walkout, right?
Before the walkout. Apparently, a few days prior, or maybe a week prior, in shooting, there was another discharge of the weapon. Jesus. Yeah. There was a series of events that should have had them putting things into perspective of okay, we need to reevaluate. So
a live round was in another
I don't know if it was a live round, but there was an accidental discharge on 2 different occasions.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I say shooting gun, and I mean filming gun. Yeah. All guns are shooting guns.
I don't know.
Wow, that's...
But yeah, right now there's a strong theory that there may have been a sabotage.
I mean...
and that's a very strong theory right now. It's
a good theory. I can't imagine it being so negligent. There has to be something other. Because in this day and age, I can't picture that level of negligence with it. Like
you would think there'd be a bare minimum of cheaping out while keeping a quality.
Or just not putting live rounds on the fucking
that
budget.
too.
Like, if live rounds were on that set, someone besides the film crew...
Yeah.
Not besides the film crew, but it can't have been budgeted into the set.
Well, the other thing, too, is, like...
Somebody brought that shit from home.
They had the original production crew do the walkout. And then the last minute, they
brought in
hired...
non-union people?
They hired locals to do the setup. So, like, what could have happened is... There was the walkout, the crew left, and then the new crew comes in. They're like, wow, these conditions really do suck. And then one disgruntled employee is like, hey, I know where to get a bullet. And just, again, I don't know. There's a number of things that could have happened, and right now it looks more likely a sort of sabotage. I'm not saying that's what's happening.
Do you think let's go with the theory that it is sabotage? Do you think they were hoping someone got killed, or just that they fired off a live round and got pissed off about the conditions?
I think it.
Because I mean, that's more of a plausible of like, I'm gonna sneak a live round into this gun, and somebody's gonna shoot it off, and they're gonna be like, oh my god, there was a live round. We have to shut this shit down.
I don't know. Because, I mean, you look at the morality of it, and you think someone who is aiming to sabotage, even you would put yourself into it, you sabotage, and you think your idea of replacing a blank with a bullet is a good idea.
Yeah.
It's like, well, ultimately, I'm not the one who pulled the trigger.
Yeah. Placing the blame somewhere else.
Yeah. It's like, it's their fault, ultimately, because they didn't check the gun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I was a sociopath. That's what.
If you were a sociopath.
Yeah, that would be the mindset, and so it just kind of goes to show that ultimately they weren't careful, and
such a fucked situation.
It really is. But like the more it goes on, the more it's like Alec is absolutely going down for something. There's no way.
I don't see it happening.
I do. Because there's too many people now at this point where it's like in any other situation, like no matter how careful, like two normal citizens, if it happened to them, the guy who pulled the trigger absolutely would go to jail.
I don't see it happening, and I just thought of a main reason why now is because the husband wouldn't press. I don't think he'll press charges.
He doesn't have to press charges.
No, I mean, but in the case of an accidental. I mean, if he requests them, depending on who the law enforcement is,
he
could totally walk.
That's a long shot.
Plus, especially if they find out somebody did sabotage it, that guy's going down.
Yeah, that would be it.
But I mean, they could definitely do a thing of like.
Yeah, I think
don't
Alex,
see Alec spending time in jail.
I think he's going to catch a charge of some sort.
Maybe a fine. I totally see him squeaking out without jail time.
I don't know. We'll see.
Although it would be an interesting court case.
Yeah, I don't know. It could go one way or the other, though.
If they try to go for him, I see it going to court.
Especially with
but I don't think
his
it will.
Temperament.
He seemed pretty distraught.
Well, I mean, he has said a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah, but that's like they do with the cancel culture shit.
Yeah, true, but it's like it doesn't paint a pretty picture.
It doesn't paint a pretty picture, but it's the same edgy, stupid jokes things that comedians try to do. And it's like when something happens, they go, "Oh, see, well, you did the thing." It doesn't it doesn't equate. It's still a shitty thing for him to have joked about, and for it to have happened. You're talking about I wonder what it would feel like to accidentally kill someone tweet.
There it is.
Like it's still it's shitty coincidence.
According to this Yahoo article, Alec Baldwin was told never to point his gun at anyone, regardless of whether it was loaded or not. According to a lawyer for the 24-year-old Arbor.
Jesus.
24-year-old Arbor on the set of the film Rust, Baldwin, 63, shot and killed cinematographer Elena Hutchins on the set of the Baldwin. So I mean, it's like a situation you pointed out. It's like maybe he just did a quick draw,
Well, no, that's the story I'm hearing, is that it happened during...
that was the setup?
Yeah, it happened during some kind of practice thing where it was like, Alec, we need you to draw, and when he did, it fired.
Yeah.
And he just happened to be... I say just happened. When he drew, it was aiming toward them, and it fired.
Yeah.
And the reaction was, I think he didn't practice trigger discipline because he thought it was a cold gun.
Yeah.
Which...
Well, yeah. So it's like, oh, man, and it sucks too, because when you hear the detail of like where she was hit and where the director was hit, do you know about that? So it sucks. It really sucks.
I'm just gonna guess head for her and shoulder for him.
No, she got shot through like the chest area. It went through her spine, paralyzed her. She collapses, and the bullet goes through her and hits the director in the shoulder.
What the fuck?
So she got paralyzed before she actually died.
That poor woman.
Yeah, so it hit her, and her last words were, "This is not good." And then she collapsed.
Well, she was very aware.
Yeah, so it... Oh, yeah.
That poor woman. Good Lord.
Yeah, so it's like... It's so, like, when you hear the details of things...
I want to know if there's footage. Like, I don't really need to see some snuff film. Like, she wouldn't be on camera.
I would be very surprised if there was...
Like, if it goes to court...
of behind the scenes or something.
Like, if it goes to court and there's footage, you think that would go public?
After court, yeah. If it exists.
Well, I mean, they're on a movie set. I would imagine they would be filming everything.
Well, that's what I mean.
For at least
like,
reference.
If there was any filming, it would be like
behind the scenes type stuff.
But I mean, they don't do behind the scenes rolling of every single thing, though.
True. Well, but I'm saying, what if it was like a screen test of like, hey, let's see how this draw looks on camera.
Yeah, but they don't record during a screen test.
They do.
Not all of it.
Not all of it, but they can, so that can.
They'll do like 2 to 3 different.
But like, in terms
of 2 to
of
3 like different tests, and then they'll shoot 2 to 3 different.
Well, yeah,
tests
but
just to see what it looks like.
But I'm saying, in terms of that footage existing, Alec being a producer on the movie, he's the one in the shot. It could be a thing of like, hey, I went from this holster to this holster. I want to see how it looks in the shot.
Yeah.
And that footage. I'm just saying, like that. I don't know. There's so many moving parts to this story, though.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of details. It just like...
It's a real fustercluck. Like, it's...
But yeah, that's Alec Baldwin's retirement plan.
Which is going to be the name of our fictional heavy metal band.
Yes.
Wait, no not heavy metal. It's a ska band.
It's the fictional ska band that we do ska covers of Fall Out Boy songs.
Yes. And that's the name of our first album.
Yeah, we are a ska band called Alec Baldwin's Retirement Plan.
Yeah, and the name of the first album is we're a ska band who does Fall Out Boy covers.
And our single is going to be Cold Rust.
Yes.
It's going to be our only original song. Everything else is going to be Fall Out Boy.
I hurt myself today.
I fucked up today. Get up, get up, get up.
Oh my God.
I can't forget the trumpets.
So that we can, I mean, we're at 2 hours roughly now, so that we can end on more of a positive note, or at least transition into a happier note. I don't know how long we're going to go for.
Oh yeah, I was going to say we're close to needing to wrap things up.
We both have been playing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
And I would like to talk about how great it is for a second.
Yeah, we'll do a quick 5-minute on that.
Like, I'd like for us to go into detail in a later episode about the Marvel games in general, or comic book games. I'd like to do a whole episode on games.
I will say though, after beating it, and without going out into spoilers, it does feel like it could be treated as a soft sequel to the second movie.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Especially with the skins to make them all look like...
Well, I mean, not even that, but just like the events, like it's kind of like the movies themselves already. You could watch Guardians 2 without the context of the first movie and still enjoy it. And that's what's great about Guardians 1 and 2. Like, they're both like really well written. I think I like the first one better.
Same.
But the second one's really well done.
Yeah.
I like it. And, like, this game, it's a standalone story. It's not attached to anything. But, like, there's just enough there where if you wanted to put it in a timeline of events...
It could definitely be slipped right in behind Guardians, too.
Yeah, because it's not set up to where it's like, oh, they're just starting out. They just met, you know. Like, there are some hints of that where it's early on.
Yeah, it's like maybe a year into their...
Yeah, it's not really specific, but you can tell it's kind of early on, because, like, the first bit of the game is, like...
They're trying to build their reputation taking on these big jobs.
Yeah, I was going to say, because there's an early sequence where Rocket and Quill are kind of bantering back and forth about the new
members of the
new
team.
People, and they're referring to Drax and Gamora. And so, like, throughout the game, they do really well in balancing, like, shining the light on each character and, like, making sure nobody's really left out. Because you only play as Star-Lord / Peter Quill. And they do utilize all the characters very well throughout the gameplay and stuff. But the story, too, it doesn't leave anyone out.
Yeah.
And so, you know, in terms of everything going on, if you watch, if you get in the mood to play this game and you want to watch, like, Guardians 1 and 2, and then play this game, like, I could see it being a soft sequel to 2 in a way.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking on the movies, what do you think about Adam Poulter? No. The guy being cast as Adam Warlock.
Initially, I was like, why? And then when I saw him currently... I was like, oh, okay.
Well, and he's a really good actor, too.
He is.
So, like, I'm looking forward to...
He's gone to the Marvel gym.
Yeah, they gave him their little shot.
Yeah. So
do you think they're roiding up their actors?
No, I don't think so.
Like, I've seen a lot of, intense debate about it online.
Especially, I mean, I could definitely see it with Chris Hemsworth. Especially with the last picture that got out.
Where his bicep looks like the size of his head.
Yeah, he's got some... He's got some jackhammer shoulders.
Well, that's just because he's playing Hulk Hogan, brother.
He's got some boulder shoulders with some jackhammer arms. And so, I mean, I could definitely see it, but there's also, like, natural ways of gaining that. Yeah. And only being able to keep that in a short amount of time.
Especially when you join, like Kamal, that guy, he had made a joke about it, like, he only looks this way because Marvel paid for a personal trainer and a dietitian. Yeah. Like, if you take 6 months out of your life to do nothing but lift and eat right, you're going to look incredible.
Well, and, like, we've heard actors talk about it, where they diet and exercise and train for all these months only to shoot a 30-second scene of
shirtless
where they just look so juiced.
Yeah, they look massive, and they're
like Hugh Jackman with Wolverine,
and they're dehydrated as fuck to look like that.
The only way you can attain that type of definition is dehydrating yourself the week prior.
Which, and I don't personally think, like, it's very comic booky to have them look like that. Yeah. But I don't personally think we need them to look that shredded. No. Like, it looks cool. Yeah. It looks totally cool. But Hugh Jackman in the first X-Men movie looked just as badass, and he was a little chubby. If you go and look at that scene where he's running through he doesn't have any definition almost whatsoever. Yeah. Like, he might have a little bit. I don't want to dog on Wolverine.
Him too, because I remember them talking about his training, and then that specific scene in
Origins, where he comes out of the water.
No. The second one, the Wolverine. Okay. Where he's shirtless and he's more jacked. Yeah. And they were talking about the process leading up to that, and it's like, yeah, he did all this work for that moment.
One scene. Yeah. Where it's like 15 seconds of him just being shirtless.
Barely that, yeah. If that at the most. But yeah, like, I remember seeing that, and we're like, holy shit, this is the most jacked I've ever seen it. Yeah. He's like in his mid-40s, and he looks so fucking yoked.
Right? He looked pretty beefy in Logan as well. Oh, and he wasn't shirtless at all for that. I mean, he had a tank top scene.
Top and all, but yeah.
But he looked pretty jacked for that, or at least shredded.
He still had definition and mass, but it wasn't the lean cut chisel that was in the Wolverine. But again, that was only X amount of months, work, diet, and exercise.
I really hope that Insomniac implements a healing system in his game, like the X-Men Origins game had, where you'd get blown apart till the skeleton was showing, and then it would slowly stitch itself back together.
Yeah.
I hope we get another thing like that.
That would be cool. I would assume they'd probably implement something like that.
The rumor is that game's supposed to take place in Madripoor, so you get a big city to play around in.
Huh.
And it's a fictional city, so they can make it look however they want.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm excited about that.
I'm looking forward to all this. But we'll talk about that another time, I guess.
Just give me the option to pop or retract the claws at will. Just a button. Like a left on the D-pad, and I can pop or...
I'd assume they'd do something like that.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, so that's it, I guess.
Yeah, I think we can cut it there.
Damn. Yeah, over 2 hours. Alrighty, well...
It's a good return episode, talking about everything, including Alec Baldwin.
I was going to say, let's plug our shit. You've got more shit to plug now.
I do now. I now have...
You've got your band?
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram at pro_wrestling_nerd, and you can follow my band, The Hampton Connection, on Facebook and Instagram if you just do a little search for...
What kind of music do y'all play?
We do a little country, a little blues, a little classic rock here and there.
Okay.
And we're trying to do, like I said, we've basically just been doing practice sessions, so we're trying to take the time off to practice and get our own, like, I keep saying Big and Rich because Big and Rich...
You're trying to get your own sound.
Our own sound. Like, I keep saying Big and Rich because Big and Rich, they harmonized together, but they weren't singing the same way.
Yeah.
Because they both had their own style of singing, and Joe sings very well, but he has his style. And I sing good, but I also have my own style. So I would like for us to find a way our styles blend together. I was going to say, the way I would describe it is, like, you've got, like, a rough... smoky gruff, and he's got a clean smoky gruff. Yeah. So, it works pretty well. Right, thank you. So yeah, that's my shit, and I don't remember the actual tags, but if you search for the Hampton Connection, you'll find
if
our stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they follow you, they'll find the band.
Yeah. And yourself, sir? Where can we find and stalk you?
Huh?
Where can we stalk you online?
I don't have a band. I don't have any side stuff going on, so it's still at JSC Barber on Instagram, Twitter. It's still the same thing. I'm not active on Twitter.
All right.
I'll like and share things, but I do more stuff on Instagram. I'll just share memes and whatnot.
There we go.
Stories.
Now, are we going next week to try to see Eternals? Or this upcoming week?
Yeah, we'll try.
Because I'll try to make my way up to you on like Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll get something lined up.
So if we end up going next week, then the next episode of Poptards we'll have a Eternals review.
Yeah, we'll be doing a Eternals review and some more BSing. And this will also, we're planning to go to the Alamo Draft House.
Yeah.
Still.
Maybe after we see the movie, we'll try to do like a small, like just Eternals talk.
Yeah.
And we could hold on to that for spoilers' sake.
We can cut that into like the next podcast episode.
Well, you were talking about Alamo Draft House.
I was going to say, this will be your first time going to it, right?
Yeah, I've never been. Never been once. I've actually never even gone to an IMAX theater, so like I want to do that at some point too. Or is Alamo it's not IMAX, is it?
I don't think they do. I don't remember.
If they have IMAX, we should do that. It's
not very sci-fi focused. It's more in the realm of keeping like a classic.
Well, I mean, the IMAX would be beneficial just for the size of the screen.
Oh yeah, but Alamo Draft House is more focused. The theme of it is more like
dinner and a show.
They're kind of focused on like the classic styles of things because like. They'll, especially with like older movies, they'll do runs of like older movies and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Like depending on the week or whatever, or like if there's a theme going on. But yeah, like if they've got like an extra room open or just an event, depending, like I said, they'll do classic runs of movies and stuff. And if they can get a hold of the 35mm
projector.
Well, they've got the most of them do have the 35mm projector.
Nice.
So if they can get the roll of that, they will show it.
Dude, next
in its original format.
If you hear about them doing that again, let me know. Because that sounds cool to try to go
They
to.
do it pretty often. It's not uncommon.
Yeah.
Because they do, like I said, they do themes and stuff, and just once in a blue moon, they'll throw in a classic movie for the showing of that week or whatever.
Hell yeah.
It's for anybody out of Texas or out of a state where they don't have an Alamo Draft House, because I know...
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Yeah, it's a cool experience that everybody should go and do. If you live in Texas, or I know they've got one or two now in California.
Do they really? That's cool.
Yeah, it's only recent though. I think they're trying to open one up in Washington. And I want to say there's maybe one in Colorado. I could be wrong. But it's mainly a Texas thing.
Yeah.
Where the Alamo
like
Draft
Buc-ee's.
House is. And, 2020 really fucked them because they had, 4 in San Antonio. And they had to close 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they almost had to close a third one, but I think they're opening it back up. But, yeah. Non-sponsored Alamo Draft House plug. If you've never been, I'd recommend it.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's a definitely experience, mainly because of the food and the
Do they serve steak?
They do. They
I'm
serve
getting a
steaks.
steak.
They serve full-size pizzas. They serve alcohol. Their lemonade is fantastic because they use brown sugar, and for whatever reason, that makes a difference, and it's delicious.
That sounds awesome.
One of the things I like to get there too is the chocolate chip cookie shake. And it's got chunks of chocolate chip cookie in it. And it's got a thick old shake straw. So you can suck those chunks right through the straw without it.
Stop it, I can only get so erect.
It's great. It is fantastic. So that's a non-sponsored plug for Alamo Draft
That sounds
House.
awesome. And I'm not taking enough money to do all of that, Josh.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It is. It's a bit on the pricier end, but it's you definitely get your money's worth. I will say. Because if you get there early enough, and usually they'll do pre-trailer bonus stuff.
Yeah.
Where depending on what movie they're showing, they'll show stuff related to that movie.
Do you get a little "Let's all go to the lobby"?
Well, of course you get that. Yeah. No, but they do some cool, interesting stuff. Where oh man, what was one of the last movies I went and saw there? It wasn't Venom.
You go to Venom there? I thought you went to the Draft House for that.
No, I went somewhere else. It was still pretty cool. But it wasn't Draft House. Oh, damn. I think it was some Marvel movie, though, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, one of the movies I did see there at one point was one of the last Transformer movies. It wasn't the Bumblebee movie. But, one of the cool things that they did was, they showed old commercials for, the toys.
Oh, nice.
They did clips of the old cartoons and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
And stuff like that. It was really cool, pre-trailer stuff that they would roll out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So find you an Alamo Draft House.
They try to get you in the mood and hyped for the movie.
Nice. So, moral of the story there, people, go find you an Alamo Draft House and give them some money.
Yeah, save up your money, go to it.
Yeah, man. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, has been the return of the Poptards, the Serape Bros, and we will see you when we see you. Maybe next week, maybe the week after, but we will try to keep it from being month-long breaks.
Yeah, I don't have another breakup to go through. So
yeah, we really can't do that, and hopefully we come back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right.
Well, bye, everybody.